massive heal. It was like 266 damage. Whoa! Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Random Thoughts. Tonight, we're actually going to play some games of Phobies. Let's jump in. What's going on, chat? I see everybody's already excited. I see people are already in here. Welcome. We made it to, or through, another week. But we're actually going to be playing some Phobies tonight. It's, oddly enough, this sounds weird, but it's been a little while since I played some Phobies. Have a nice weekend. I hope you do as well, Onda. I hope you do as well, and I hope everybody out there has a good weekend. We're going to try and play as many games as we can. We'll sneak in some game reviews here and there. Because there is, and I'm putting this out at the front as well, and I'll mention it as we go through, but there have been a lot of game submissions in the Discord, which, by the way, if you don't know, you should see this on the YouTube description down below, or if you're on the live stream, !Discord, and you can probably see the command down there, over there, all the way on the side in the bottom. If you join the Random Thoughts Discord, there's a place where you can submit your games and highlights for review if you want to get them on stream, or if you want to get them on YouTube, or both. And I'm trying to work my way through it, but I do want to play some Phobies games, so we're going to have to try and find a better, more efficient way for me to do it. We'll figure it out as time goes on. Did I get anything from the tiers packs? I think we got Primate. We got Primate, which was kind of cool, which we might as well level up while we're in here. We got Primate, and that was it. I think I didn't pull that video yet, because I haven't gotten that far in the sequence just yet, but I will. So what's going on, chat? How's everybody out there doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to everyone chilling out in the stream. If you just want to hang out and lurk, that's absolutely cool. Feel free. If you want to jump in backseat, that's also cool as well. Is Charon? I just got it from the 2000 tier pack. Grats, ZJ. I actually am anxious to try out Charon. I know people aren't really a fan, but I was thinking about it as I was walking the dog today, because I was just looking at Discord on my phone and people were bagging on Charon. And I'm pretty sure it has 2 movement. But if it does, then it's like a pseudo flyer, movement-wise. Gotta flex my beautiful hair? Yeah, exactly. Unless you mean this. Long week like yourself? Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. But we're at the end of it. That's the good news. We're on the other end of it. I'm not a huge fan of the warm weather, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. We're getting to that part of the year. All right, we're going first here on Home Sweet Home? Question mark? I do want to do some more Telestrator Madden-style things talking about maps, and I especially want to do some beginner breakdown things for openers and various Phobies, and we'll call it Phobies in Focus, single Phobie videos, like talking about the different things you can do with certain Phobies. But we're not quite there yet. Is this a mistake? I guess this is fine. We're going to back this up with Stabby. I don't know how long if this is worth it. They may be able to, depending on how this leap goes, like if they go down here and leap and end up here, that means that they can hit it with both, which equals a dead cassowary, which could be very bad. We'll see how this works. Yeah, that cassowary might die. I'm being aggressive about this, mostly because I realized as I was editing some of the other YouTube videos from previous streams that I'm unclear to this day exactly how some of the push, pulls, and leap mechanics and stuff work. I have a working theory for the pushes and pulls, but as I set this up, I was realizing I don't really have that in mind. Hey, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. To both new followers. Much appreciated. But yeah, I don't really have a great sense of... Just popping out chat, that's why we're losing sound. I don't really have a great sense of how the leaps, like where they're going to land. But our opponent elected to not go for this anyway, which I think is fine. Now, if we move down here, the Henrietta can move up and clobber this, so we're just going to back off temporarily. This Stabby still covers the top point, and the Cassowary covers the bottom point. They bank to 5, which is a little scary. It's a little scary. We could also bank to 5. You know, we could just follow up with, say, a cowbell. That'll let us just help pick things off. So that way we can apply a little bit more pressure to anything that decides to advance. For now, we don't really need to go nuts, and we want to leave room in our phobie count, aka stay below 5, so that way we can summon reinforcements, whatever's necessary. It's very, very humid. It's very humid, or has been. Go Stabby, exactly. Gotta love a little Stabby action, right? Gotta love a little Stabby action. Oh, wow, Atona, there's a lot to unpack there. I don't even want to go near that one. Because that is like... We'll need a few minutes to talk about that one. Alright, so I'm not sure how we're fighting the sheep yet. If we go in, like, how much are we doing here? Like 700 at most? And we're not even necessarily blocking. Yeah, this doesn't get us anything other than trading inefficiently, so I don't really want to do this. So this forces them to have to engage in order to kill the cowbell, which means that the Stabby should not get hit. If it does, we're still going to blow it up, and we end up trading 4 for 4, essentially. Oh, I'm with you there, Atona. I'm with you. Well, we have the breakdowns that Madden-isms in it. Things like when you lose your hat, you don't want to lose your head in it, because if not, you don't get to call Madden-style breakdowns. You know, it's really the person who has Phobies on the board at the end of the game that wins the game. That's not even really true. We got to come up with some good Madden-isms. Dinner time, might be back later. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. We need to come up with some good Madden-isms for Phobies. There have got to be some good ones, right? I wasn't counting on this. Alright, so they were able to get a good engage here. We can probably still get the sheep. We're clearly going to kill this. But then this dies to the cassowary. So we've lost 1 key so far. We're going to lose more, obviously. I mean, the Stabby could get healed. Like, we could go Clinico here. I don't really want to, but I mean, we could. Obviously, we need to eliminate the sheep, right? This goes here. They have all the points, though. And notably, also, this is in position to wipe out our Stabby. So if we go... Like, if we try to save it, does that really matter? Probably not. Because it's likely just a croak. Yeah, he's absolutely going to dive with the Kaboom here. Or whatever one this is. Yeah, it's Kaboom. Which, the Kaboom can go here, which is not good, clearly. But, I mean, what else are we going to do? This is just so we can recap some points. We're not going to save the Stabby. I mean, we'll see what they commit with. Again, we could probably clear up the tiny things. We have a little bit of breathing room as far as panic points go. But yeah, this was somewhat expected. They can walk away, sort of. Hey, Alpaca, welcome. Welcome. But they can't really walk away because of the dimensional. So they're trading 3 keys for 3 keys here, essentially, because this is a 3-key phobie. They're going to eliminate this, but it's clearly going to die. Like, I think we are key positive here, right? We lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 7, 8. I mean, it's basically even. I'm totally reading a set of Madden quotes at the moment. Whatever happened to Nick's name, it's great to have a game where tackle is named Pork Chop. True. Oh, man. John Madden. Do they have leap? They do not have leap. Actually, wait. So we have to kill this. And then we step on the point to stem the bleeding. They bank to 7. I think this is fine. Wait, could we have... I want to see if we can save Meatball. No, we can't. We don't have enough damage. So we got a Meatball. We step on the point. We're also going to bank. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I'm a little concerned about it. I'm somewhat tempted to take one of these other points aggressively, but then it just dies to the cassowary for free. And we kind of need the board presence just to recap points at this stage. Game review today, I'm hoping. We're going to try and mix them in. We're going to try and mix them in so that way I can actually get to play some games. We spent a lot of last weekend doing an enormous amount of game reviews, so I do want to get some actual gameplay in because I just want to play some Phobies, honestly. So this now has Leap back online. Game. It no longer has Leap online. It's kind of hard to leap when you're dead. They elected to not go for something big. Should we go for Crushmore? I don't think Crushmore's our answer here. They have 6 keys remaining. I kind of want to wait. But at the same time, we need to do something in order to contest this Stabby. Like, we could go an Unbearable, and then we'd be left with 5. We're going Unbearable kind of just because I want to, not because it's necessarily the best choice here. Crushmore is always good. I was thinking about Crushmore. That does actually seem usable, Doc. Like, that seems like it's feasible. We could possibly make that one happen. All right, so we're going to get hit with some B action here, I imagine. Yep. Which is fine. We can back off. Maybe this wasn't... Ooh, they didn't commit with the Stabby. Interesting. Now, they can hit these positions. So we're going to go here with Unbearable. You go here. I don't really want to sacrifice this. We actually need the Gin Sting here. The reason for that is it covers the points, but is not exposed to getting hit by both Stabby and their Gin Sting. It wouldn't die, but I don't really want it to die for no purpose. We have 5 keys. They have 6. We might as well wait. We could go like Miss Moffat or Wooly Bully preemptively and then try and dive and be aggressive. But they need to commit into us, and I don't think they really have a good setup in order to do so. So we'll wait to see what they do. I think Unbearable is okay since they already used their sheep. It's fine. I think Unbearable is decent enough into... Oh god, we might be in trouble. Maybe we need our sheep. I think we will go sheep, actually. We have the life total of this Cerberus, roughly, and then hopefully we can kite it from there. Where are you pulling these from, Doc? Is it, like, on Wikipedia? Like, where exactly are you getting all the Maddenisms from? Alternatively, when this thing walks up, we could try and go, like, Morty, and position it so that Morty gets... It'll only ever get 1 hit if it's in range. We could alternatively go Jar and soften it up, but I think Sheep is our answer. I don't really... Like, is Morty good here? Realistically, it's 8. We could dive something. Because it does... It's like half the life total of this guy. Snipe Heart with Morty? We can't because Morty's too fragile. Morty's too fragile. I think we will have to go Sheep. I don't really like this. But we can advance the Sheep, poison it, and then just kind of like hit it at range. Like if they move it up again, we cap the point, pop Sheep. Alright, so they hit us with bees, but we're now going to kill your Jin Sting. If you had Jeeves, you could freeze lock Cerberus. Yes, we did in fact see that. That one I got to make into a clip. I got to make that into a clip like a YouTube short. It'll be good. It'll be good. So if you go down here, yeah, you can't reach. So that's 5, 9. Like, we're not killing this, and then we're putting ourselves at risk. So we're just going to do this. If you had Crushmore, you could have walled it off. That's true, DT. That's true. I'm a little leery of the Crushmore right now, because it is still kind of low level. But I mean, it can break the statue, but it takes time, is the thing. I think it'll take 1.5 turns. So it would be, you walk up to it, hit it, then you have to hit it 2 more times, then you can continue on, so it just slows you down an enormous amount. So we may be able to just kill the Cerberus. I didn't actually count this up, but we're going to find out. Sorry, buddy. Get out of here. Get out of here. So they obviously can bees and kill this and then tag some other things, but that's okay. Because this is 8, 12. They might be able to kill our Jin Sting. We're moving this out so it doesn't get hit with bees. It'll lay wall action going. We could have, yeah. We could have. I don't know if that's better or worse. Like, taking the panic, because that did cross my mind that if we just killed it with I keep saying Gesundheit. I don't know why. If we just killed it with Jin Sting, we could have walked Contortio on the point. But I don't think that's really what matters at this stage. Like, the panic points matter, but I don't know that they really matter for this. It's really just coming down to who's going to have Phobies left. So I'm not sure what our opponent needs to do here. I mean, like I said, they could advance and then probably kill this. It'd be 840, 1290. No, they actually would be short because they don't have bees online. And they didn't bees on previous turns to, you know, splash that much onto our Jin Sting. We may have tilted our opponent. It may have happened, chat. Hey, the offensive linemen are the biggest men on the field. They're bigger than everybody else, and that's what makes them the biggest men on the field. It's true. The team that scores the most points today is probably going to win the game. I love John Madden. I love John Madden. The guy just obviously was having so much fun. Like, that's the thing. Like, people give him crap because, you know, he says some ridiculous things, but A, it's live television. Look, people, when you're trying to, like, just stay high energy, I do that on stream all the time. Like, I say stupid stuff. Some of it's intentional, some of it's not. Some of it's just me fumbling with my words, but a lot of it is just, you're trying to be entertaining, and it's like, okay, well, you say these things that feel like they should be profound and then turn out that they're in fact not. Usually the team that scores the most points wins the games. Yeah, exactly. That's one of my favorite John Madden quotes. Wait, is this lethal? No, it's not quite. It's close, but not quite. Leaving him at 29 health. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It'd be cool if this game had 2v2. Yeah, it would be pretty cool. People have brought that up before. I've talked about it a little bit. Honestly, I think GG. Yeah, we figured they surrendered. Honestly, I think when we nuked that Cerberus, we tilted the crap out of our opponent, but GG. We win our first game in Sum of All Fears in the new season, so that feels pretty good. Well, when you're playing good Phobies, it's good Phobies, and if you don't have good Phobies, then you're not really playing good Phobies. True, Doc. I like it. I like it. That definitely sounds like something I would say, too. But yeah, as far as 2v2 goes, I have no insight into the back end for the game, right? Like, I'm not a dev. I don't have any contact with the devs any more than anybody else would, you know, like... It's not like I talk to them on a regular basis or something. At all, really. So I have to assume that the back end would not really support 2v2 very well. If you played async at all, and we joke about it in my Discord, which, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, come join the Random Thoughts Discord, or exclamation point Discord in the live chat over on the live stream on Twitch, RTChompGG. But we talked about in Discord that some of the async games, it's kind of a meme that they take so long, like a month-long async game, because if you stretch it out, it could take a really long time to finish a game. Now, imagine if there were 2 more players in that game. It would take an eternity to finish a game. Arena would be different, but honestly, I played other games that have 2v2 mode, specifically like turn-based games like this, and while everybody said that they loved them, they were far and away the least populated mode in those games. Like, far and away. So while everybody, like, I probably wouldn't play it. I would meme it on stream, maybe, you know, tool around with it once in a while, but most of the time I'm playing 1v1. That's, to me, the main game mode. So, truthfully, I wouldn't play it. Would I like it to be there? Yes, because I think it would be cool. But realistically, there are problems that come up with doing it, namely, you're splitting the queues. It goes back to the tournament mode discussion that has come up periodically, especially because I want one. That I want way more. But the problem is that when you split the queues, we as players don't have a sense of what the population for Phobies is. It seems really good. But then all of a sudden, you pull a bunch of people out of those queues because they're playing the other mode, which isn't really getting a lot of people, and that mode suffers. So now you just have people that are miserable in both. It gets tough. I'm not saying it can't happen, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's tough. 2v2 would have to be arena mode, yeah, pretty much. It could be a limited time event. It would be cool to try it. It would be cool to try it. But I don't know. I just don't know. Floor's lava is so bad, it's a tough map, Alpaca. It's a tough map. Like, comes in Christmas, stays 14 days, it's good. I think it would be cool to have something like that. Some sort of rotating mode. A lot of games have done that, but also it's the same problem of splitting queues. And the only people who can make that determination are the devs, because they are the only ones with the full picture on the player base. And that's the thing. I feel like on one of the maps with equal points, you get a sync map that lasts the entire life of the game. I mean, you could definitely do that anyway. You could just pass turns back and forth. But yeah, and a 2v2 map, think about, I guess it would have to be, if you were a 2v2 map, it would have to be one of these big ones, right? Not that one. That one's not good either. We don't have any double... Wow, there are no maps currently in the rotation that have 2 vault spawns. Huh. That's weird, but I think it would have to be like one of those ones with 4 total vault spawns, 2 for each player, but it would be 2 for the team, and do that, and those would be the only maps you could play, because otherwise I think it gets too complicated. Like a 6-key spawn or something like that, like that's, or 8, like that's just way too big. The game will never end. And it might actually come down to who literally has a bigger collection, as in who just has quantity-wise more Phobies, because if you randomly queue into somebody who's just starting the game, it's like, oh, it's a 2v2 mode. Let me try that. I only have 6 total Phobies. Well, guess what? You're hosed. Like, that's what's gonna happen. It would clearly have to be a large map. I think you could do it from the same key. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think it would be... I wanted to highlight one of the ones with multiple vault openings, because I think those would probably be the best, and then you could have each player spawn in a corner. But I don't know. I mean, we'd have to try it to begin with, right? It's weird. I hate team formats in single-player games. However, I don't mind team tournaments where each team is an odd number of players playing an odd number of matches, like 3v3, where each team is 3 people playing 1v1, and the team with 2 wins wins the round. That seems less bad to me. I played that format. There are a couple people that might remember. I've told stories about it before. I don't mind that sort of setup. I also really do like 2v2 and 3v3 in RTS games, but the problem is, and this is a general thing that also applies to Phobies, if the game is built around 1v1, the game is just different when there's more than 2 people in the game. It just is, and it sounds ridiculous, but think about, say, StarCraft, or my experience is Warcraft 3. You're playing 3v3. One of the more powerful strategies in 3v3, and it was years ago, maybe it isn't anymore, and the meta's changed, but whatever. One of the more powerful things was just to take your hero, one of your first units, and take the 3 of your heroes, your teams, and immediately beeline to the other team's base and just harass the hell out of a single player and basically just take them out of the game. Why? Because the game was designed around 1v1, so yes, you could deal with a single hero coming in and attacking you, with probably your hero and some units. You have defender's advantage. What happens when you are overwhelmed with 3 times as much aggression? You just straight up don't have the resources. Now, the answer, of course, is, well, your teammates help you, but in this case, the attackers have an advantage because they're able to pick off workers and things like that. That doesn't correlate or translate to Phobies 1-to-1, but I imagine that if you end up with 2 players having their independent key counts, independent spawns, I suspect things will break. Maybe not in a, oh, the game is unplayable. It may be lots of fun, but there are definitely going to be things that arise that would never happen in a regular game, even if it's just simply you have twice the key count. And when I'm saying twice the key count, if we're assuming a large map with a large key pool for a large map, now you have twice as many Cerberus, you have twice as many Hevo 3.0, you have twice as many Heartbreaker. Like, the rule of 1 for Phobies, where you can only have that phobie once, is literally out the window. So immediately you're breaking some of the fundamental rules of the game, which again could be awesome, but it's something you have to consider. How many starter phobies do you get? I'm not sure. Does that mean we can summon 2 of the same phobies? You're ahead of me on there, Onda. You can block the keyhole, though? Can you? Because you can't actually step on a keyhole, which is a notable thing even in this, like, regular 1v1. You can't step on your own or block your opponent's keyhole. They may limit time event for Christmas, different board interactions. Yeah, I think that would be cool, Alpaca. I would expect if we're going to see something, I'm hoping they do something for Halloween. Like, legitimately. Wouldn't it just fit? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think 6 or 7 starter phobies is right. I think 6 or 7 sounds about right. But anyway, I think we'll do one more. There are 6 given by the tutorial, plus a pack of 7 you get during the tutorial. DT always dropping the knowledge. I need to get a listing of all that sort of stuff, put it in a spreadsheet, and just have it available as a command, because it comes up all the time. Like, it's a common question. And that's not to say, like, if you have those sort of questions, by all means ask. It's just, it comes up so much that, you know, it would make sense. Kind of like one of these. If you're interested in getting your games reviewed, helps if I do my own command right. If you're interested in getting your games reviewed in Phobies, you can head on over to the Random Thoughts Discord, drop into the games and highlight section, and we'll try and talk about them on stream. Could 2 bronies protect each other? Probably. I don't think it disables the ability. It's only damage, so yeah. Technically, that's my command. That's true, Doc. It was the doctor's suggested command. It's the doctor's orders, if you will. Just following doctor's orders. So we're on Scoposium. Scoposium? I don't really remember the exact name of the map. I I've only played a handful of games on this. I remember playing it on stream, but it's been a long time. I only typed out the instructions once and immediately got lazy. I mean, it's... And this is... I mentioned it before, but... I definitely appreciate that everybody's submitting game reviews. There's a big queue at this stage, honestly. Like, there's a bunch to talk about, which is really cool. And I think it's going to be fun to go through all this stuff. However, if you're going to submit a game review, I do seriously need people to send it in Discord in the appropriate channel, because there's no reasonable way for me to track this stuff otherwise. There's no reasonable way for me to actually be able to figure out what games I'm doing or otherwise without either missing some or, you know, it's just not manageable at the level that it's becoming. So shout out to everybody submitting games. I really do appreciate it. Just make sure you join the Discord and drop it in the channel so I can have it in a structured manner. I think Phobies that push ability is good here. I think you're right. Push and pulls are generally very good. You submitted one alpaca? Awesome. This is a very strange map, I agree. I kind of like the Eternal Night from our opponent here. I think it makes a lot of sense. I should have sent the cassowary to where the cowbell is, because then that could advance to wherever we wanted it to. As it is right now, we're like in a very weird spot where we can't take this point. And cassowary is going to be out of the mix. No, we'll send cowbell down here. Cowbell's going to take this bottom point. Do we want cowbell to do it? Yeah, we should have either had cat or cassowary in the spot where cowbell was. So our opponent also banked to 7, which, I mean, that makes sense. They are up by 1 panic point at this stage. So we're just going to get a bully online, which is going to be pterodactyl. We're going to lose this particular phobie. Like, the cat is just dead, right? But we're equalizing the points, making them commit to us. Push and pull are both great on this map. I played this map yesterday and dropped Fish Tank in the middle, then used Miss Muffin and Rambolina to make my opponent cry. I think that's a good play, Doc, and I want to get to that point. I wanted the pterodactyl, but in retrospect, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Alright, so this was obvious, right? Like, this was going to happen, like we talked about. This will not kill this, which means that we can hit it with pterodactyl, which is fine, air quotes. It's really going to matter whether they advance this. I'm not sure why they're doing that. We could actually kill it with the cassowary, and then, well, the cassowary doesn't heal. That's not going to help. Yeah, I dropped Fish Tank on turn 2 and owned the middle by 3 turns, then I started working on panic points. It seems good. Wouldn't this be a good map for Bone Mangle's stabby opening? I'm not sure how much I like the stabby opener and similar things on maps where you can't... It's kind of like either of those on Lights Out. It gets awkward to make some of these things happen. So the problem here is they may actually be able to kill the pterodactyl. They may actually be able to kill the pterodactyl. And the reason I say that is we're taking 500, 1100, 15, 19, and then they step on it with cowbell. Like, if we go in, it's gonna die. Now, we could do this, but that leaves it here, and that means it's gonna die to the cat. Nah. So we want this mobile, but if we put it here, it probably just dies to a combination of stuff. I just don't know if we care. They're going to walk the cowbell in. I want to bank a little bit here. Means we can get a 7. We might have wanted to just go Miss Moffat here. This map is insufferable and I love it. I should have moved the jar 1 down behind the cassowary, because then it still covers everything that I wanted to, but then it's... Well, actually, it couldn't have gone there. 1, 2... Yeah, I wanted to have it in range to be able to step on the panic point here, but that wasn't going to happen. This was an error. These are on lava, which... Maybe this is fine, actually? This might be fine. Yeah, this seems like a blunder from our opponent, because they're going to lose the knight and the cat. Okay, maybe they're not. How long have I been playing Phobies? Since sometime in March. Sometime in March. I didn't start at launch, I don't think. Somebody, actually, Atona, was in Discord and said, hey, this looks like a cool game before it released, and I wishlisted it, and then just randomly picked it up, and when I was playing it offline, I loved it, so... So this will hit it. Wow, this is a lower level stabbing than I thought. So say 800 plus another 3. Like, they're not going to kill it. They might power it down with the Boo Fairy, but whatever, who cares? This seems like a mistake. We're not getting anything out of this. Now, they could kill this with a combination of this and this. Right? Or, yeah. The only difference here is that it forces them to put this stuff in range. Now, what's probably going to happen is they just walk away and go take the point down at the bottom. Which, I mean, what are we going to do about that? So we're going to go with Miss Moffat for now. This will allow us to bank for Rambolina next turn. What if I started a tier list on live? I will do one. Right now, I was talking about it in Discord a little bit. I don't want to do one until I've at least seen all the Phobies, and I straight up have not seen all of them. Not just stress unlocks, but there's actually regular Phobies. There's one 7 cost that I literally have not seen. No clue what it does or how it works. So, until I at least can confirm, okay, this is at least what all the Phobies do, I'm a little leery of doing a tier list for now. Are there Phobies that everyone starts with, or are they randomized? I think there are some that are guaranteed, but as DT was mentioning earlier, there's like a pack that you get. So it's not 100% you will always have X or Y. That baby Phobia I've never seen? I don't know what one that is. Alright, you gonna shriek and power it down? I imagine yes. This does 671 damage. So this is actually gonna one-shot the damn Contortio. We're not in great shape here, because having all 4 panic points here is a lot of damage. Yeah, I've never seen that Phobie player. Oopsie Baby, is that actually in the name of it? Wait, so they didn't power this down. Why? So if we boop here, like if we get a Rambolina to boop, I think the Rambolina is fine just to help get things in position as well, like because of the movement range. We just can't really contest this thing. I guess if we go, like if it goes here, we can pull it with the spider and then it's in range of a lot of things. This is going to die this turn. Contortio can't actually make it there, which is a little obnoxious. Like we might have been better off going with a Droney at one point. Leshy is not a stress reward, I thought it was. Yeah, it's probably Leshy. It's probably Leshy. That's a heal phobie, isn't it? If I recall correctly. So they're protecting this Boo Fairy, and I'm not really sure why. Leshy's a... I think I've seen it, like, in screenshots. It's an AoE heal. Yeah, I thought that was the one. It's kind of tree-looking, if I recall correctly. Maybe I'm the... I don't know. That doesn't even make sense, player. Like, what exactly is that verb? Like, what is... You played against it? Okay. Oopsie Baby, Mechanical Phobie, 1 movement, 3 range shot, and has a damage debuff skill. Interesting. So it is another 3 range phobia. I didn't know there were other ones, but that's pretty cool. So, like, we can put some damage on this thing, but that's meaningless. So they're electing to heal the Boo Fairy, which I guess is fine. You make the tier list till 6 cost units. I was going to break it up, actually, by type, I think. I was debating breaking it up by type. I'm not sure that that's how we should do it, but, you know, that was at least the thought process. Wait, hold on. This is 3, we'll say 4, 7, and 5 is 12, and 5, 17. We can't kill this. We should be able to kill this, but maybe not. Oh my god, wow. We could have possibly set up a boop somewhere to make something happen. We're gonna bank from here. I think a Hevo is in order. Maybe Oopsie Baby Boo Fairy mostly sacrifices himself to land the debuff. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I've seen some fairly tanky Boo Fairies. And you should also, you know, if you're going in with Boo Fairy, it's one of 2 scenarios. Either using the debuff to protect itself, duh. We probably should have just moved this onto the stem. There was no reason not to do that, right? Like, that was just silly. Or you're going in, and yes, it will get sacrificed, but you're doing it so that you can grant larger board position by removing stuff. I got Miss Moffat recently. It changes big maps so much. It absolutely does, player. Like, the displacements are incredibly powerful. Like, incredibly powerful. On a variety of different fronts. That's an Alistor. So imagine if this was already on the panic point. They just straight up couldn't advance like this. This was a mistake. Can that Klopster one-shot Jar Cannon? Probably. Or 37? No, it can't. It actually can't. Alright, Alpaca, thanks for hanging out. I think doing it by key cost is good because you compare the power level. That's also a fair point. That's fair. There's a lot of different ways to do it. don't know if this is really what we want to do, honestly, but it feels like an easy pick, assuming this gets it in range. It does. Okay. We'll bank the rest of the keys, so that way we can get our Hevo. So the spider's going to take damage. It should not die. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, the Rambolina might take a beating here, but I don't think they can kill it. Actually, they might be able to. I don't know. This might have been a mistake. Buff cowbell. So what do they do here? They move Boo Fairy. They move Clopster. They move this, and it's 7. We'll round up here, because that... So it's 7, 11, 14. Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to kill it. I don't think they can get this. Well, actually, they could burrow to this tile and hit the spider. But I wasn't expecting that. Like, that's super aggressive. Okay, so they're powering down the Rambolina, which seems kind of bold. Our boop will still work, but I don't know if that really matters too much. We can't really threaten either of these. They have too much health, and we can hit it with too few Phobies. They will be flipping the Phobies as far as, like, or flipping the Phobies, flipping the panic points in their favor. But they're only going to be up by 1, so it's not that big a deal. We don't have pull this turn, but we'll just back the spider off and hold off. Now, we're going to be going for the Hevo, because I think just getting it online and being a big old threat is worth it. Especially now that they have their power down offline. So they could take this bottom one, but we're in range to hit it with this, like everything but the Stairmaster, basically. If we go here with the Stairmaster, they can move this onto the lava. They could walk this up, and then they could burrow behind it. But if they do that, they're just dead, right? If we had booped these, I don't know that... Whoop. Yeah, we don't want to boop this. The reason we don't want to boop this is because it's going to put it in a spot that we don't like. We missed out on a shot from the jar, and we didn't move our Contortio because I was too busy dirtling around trying to explain what I was doing. And then I unwound to try and do the Rambolina play, which, again, the reason I didn't want to do it, I was tempted to hit the Boo Fairy onto the lava, but then it would probably boop this straight back onto the panic point, which is not the end of the world, but not really what we want either. Now, what I think we do here is we're just going to advance, like walk Hevo up to here and pop the Rock Lobster. The Clopster. Unleash Hevo 3.0. Yes. Welcome to the party. The Molotov cocktail party. Honestly, we're not in, like, a super dominating position here, chat. We're not in, like, a fantastic position. This is bold. I mean, they get this up here. There's nothing we can do about that. We don't really have a great answer to Alistor other than kill it in a single turn. Let them feel the Molotov cocktail part. I mean, I think we go in here, right? So they come back. They can move Stabby here, or they could move Hevo. So 4, 10, 14. Like, they can't kill this. Basically, we just get everything into an aggressive position here, I think. They don't have any AoE. We might as well get the AWOL at this stage, right? Part of me wants to put the spider here, but I think having it here to threaten either spot. Now, we could end up taking a ton of damage on the Hevo, but I think we kill these things in return. Maybe Alistor's trying to hit your heart. I doubt it. I mean, it is possible. It is possible. We could rotate back, although it would take some time. Like, if Alistor comes up here, we probably reposition the spider. I mean, we have way too much heart health for them to just dive it with simply Alistor, right? So this is still on cooldown, so they can't... This is interesting. Because you can't hit it with anything else other than the Hevo, but the Hevo's not going to kill it. So that means that, like, I guess what they were thinking is if they dealt enough damage, they could walk the Clinico onto it. Actually, they could do it. They can do it with Klopster. So they... If they see this... Actually, no, they can't. Yeah, they can't because they wouldn't be able to walk the Clinico onto it. So they could have put Klopster here with the burrow, move this up, move Hevo up, kill it, but then they have no way to stand on it. Yeah, you don't want to do that because I'm going to hit your heart and everything else. Like, no matter what, this Hevo is going to make your life challenging. You know what I just realized? This is another map with a even amount of panic points. We were talking about that in the context of the floor is lava. This is interesting. You should have gone to this top position because we can hit you more easily here. Like, they're going to heal this damage off, so it doesn't actually matter that much. Wait, you were here. If you go, yeah, you can't reach anything, so that's fine. We do kind of need to retake a point, so that way we're pressuring them. But we're not really in a position to do that. If we try and go here, they can collapse on it with Hevo, Bowmangles, and Alistor. So you can only go there. We gotta get the spider to connect with something. I think we can get the Alistor if they allow us, but we can't, again, put the spider here. It might need to be where AWOL is, but I expect they're just gonna back off with this. I don't see them diving. We could have gone after their heart with the Hevo, and that's why I want to keep it down there to threaten it. I don't really like the idea of hitting it while Stabby's there, but, I mean, you know. So they're healing it up. But it is 100% dead if you leave it there. Yeah, you can't leave it there. They basically healed it all the way up. I mean, look at this. It's... How much max health does it have? 1567. It's at 1514. It's close enough, right? So the Clinico has gotten a lot of value. It's actually gone off twice. So what I think we're going to do is walk Hevo down to this bottom spot and just threaten their heart. It is going to take some damage from Stabby, which is obnoxious, but it's not the end of the world. This also means that the jar can hit the heart. So they could advance Stabby to become a threat here to either of these, but they've positioned the Boo Fairy so far away that they can't power anything down this turn that matters. I want to get the Spider in the action. If we go here, they can move this in. They can't hit with this. They can move this in. They could power it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could go here. So they can hit it for 4. We'll say 9. And 4 is 13. They would actually kill the Spider if they dove it. They can't get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't get to it here otherwise, although we can't really threaten anything else. I mean, we could go here and pull the Bowmangles. I don't really want to do that. We'll go with this. Given how they're positioned, we can't really threaten anything else, I don't think, without losing something. So the Stabby moving up was kind of expected. We're actually going to take a ton of damage on this if we allow it to kill the Stabby. Enough that I'd be concerned where the Hevo can't really fight stuff. Very effectively, anyway. I think we still kill it, it's just a matter of what we kill it with, and I think we kill it with the jar, ideally. Or, I mean, obviously, if we can set it up so that it just dies to fire, that'll be better, which we should be able to. I don't know if you want to be there. I don't know that you want to be there. I mean, again, this is probably going to take a ton of damage, but I don't think they can kill it. It's certainly not if they try and power it down. Like, there's no way they kill it if they try to power it down. At least I don't think. Maybe I'm mathing wrong in my head. I'm getting the sense our opponent has not seen Hevo 3.0 before, but maybe I'm wrong. Unfortunately, this has 2100 health, and like most of our team is not in a position to fight it. But it does mean that we can put the Spider maybe someplace else. Alright, so this is a mistake. I don't know why they moved Clinico there. 179. That means the jar has to kill it. I'm trying to click off so I can see how much. So it has 800 health. We'll get the boop action. If we go here, they can kill it in 1, 2, 1, 2. They can't step on it with Alistor. They can't hit it with anything. Like, I think this is safe. Air quotes. The Boo Fairy probably powers down the Hevo. But that's fine, I think. We're leaving the A-wall because if we advance it at all, they can just pick... Well, you know what? We should have advanced the A-wall because if they pick it off, it's kind of who cares. Now, we might end up losing Rambolina here. Yeah, they're going to go for Rambolina. That's fair, I guess. But we're going to kill the Boo Fairy. We should be able to get the Clopster unless something bonkers happens, I guess. They could go for our heart. Like, that is a feasible game plan, I guess, but we're going to probably... Like, they'd have to put Alistor on here, so we move up pole and then just light it up. For 1,500, plus the lava damage. Because it's going to be 5 here, and 5, almost 600 here, or... Yeah, we'd have to move this, so we hit with a pterodactyl twice, hit with this once. I don't quite know what that means, player. No, I do. Big wins? Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can keep it rolling. We'll see if we can keep it rolling. The season's still young. We have plenty of time. Plenty of time to D-rank again. I don't really want to make too many jokes about that, because that's exactly what happened last season. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get to Sum of All Fears, and then we'll be good. And then it's like, but I could just D-rank, and then we'll get it on stream. You know, like, I got it off stream, and we'll just do it on stream for funsies. Okay, so they positioned here. Probably a good idea. But we'll go for the Hevo, then. Ah. Clever girl. Alright, so they're just going all in. Which, I mean, I get it. They're in position to do it, so we have to try and make something happen here. Can we snipe this, is the question. Answer is yes. Did we need the pole is the bigger question. Probably not. AWOL, come on, buddy. Bonk. Get bonked. Shout out to all the, everybody in chat who remembers that. Okay, no, we did need to pull it. We need to pull it because otherwise we can't get enough hits. We could possibly still be in trouble, chat. Just because the Hevo is going to take at least 3 turns to get into range, and I don't know that we can burn this Alistor down fast enough, honestly. We'll have to see. We do have a life lead, but not an enormous one. Now, they won't life leech by hitting our heart, but clearly AWOL just dies, right? Now, we can poison the Alistor, notably it is a dimensional phobie. Like, we're just going to walk the spider up and bite it. This thing notably will not die due to the Hevo. Like, that's actually a problem. We should be okay, but I'm always leery about this. I'm not always super confident. Alright, so they've equalized the panic points as mentioned. We're just going to walk up. We're going to bite this and put an enormous amount of poison on it. Like, 690 damage. It's a lot of poison. And because it's going to happen at end of turn, that means that they can't really heal it. We can't get on the point this turn, otherwise I'd probably go for that, but that's fine. So how much do we put on this? It's only going to be like 900, right? Yeah, we're not going to kill it. And the burrow's up. I think we just go for it, though. Like, we damage this thing. It's going to come down to whether we kill these, not the heart punching. Well, I mean, the heart punching matters, but, like, us punching their heart is not going to change the math of this situation. They have to race us, and we have to kill their phobies before they kill our heart. Which they're not going to be able to do this turn. And since Alistor doesn't heal from the heart damage, yeah, they have to change their math. Now, we should still be able to kill this Alistor. I mean, between the poison damage and the pterodactyl, like, we should be okay. But we are under 4k health, and they can run this thing away. It's a little scary. It's a little scary. The rock lobster is hyper mobile, so they can get all over the map whenever the hell they want to and recap any points that they feel like. But they need to get it out of range of my Hevo. Yeah, like, I mean, that's okay, but we are going to kill it. We're going to recap this top point with the pterodactyl. The difference here is it means that we're taking damage now, and they are not. But we are going to kill it. Get that little Molotov cocktail action. Down goes Alistor. We'll start working on this Bowmangles. I mean, they can shoot our heart, but they're not going to kill it in time anyway. And if they choose to shoot our heart, then Stairmaster live. I mean, Stairmaster's going to live anyway. They can't do enough damage. Or can they? It was pre-damaged. Ah, they could kill it. Okay, fair, fair. I'm coming for you, Bowmangles. He's a big one. Oh, Lord, he's coming. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Yeah, unfortunate for you, friend. Honestly, this, I don't know, and I'm going to say this before the game ends, I feel like we won this because of player, as in stress levels. I feel like we outclassed our opponent's phobies, both in what the phobies were and our phobies were higher level. Our opponent made some mistakes, but I don't think that they made, like, the mistakes they made at the end with the positioning for the Hevo, I don't think were a result of, like, oh, well, they just made a dumb play. I think it was just probably frustration of, well, what am I going to do? But regardless, GG, you take those. You take those. I think that was a pretty solid game. It was a solid game. Alright, so here's Leshy. So I actually want to watch this game. Maybe we'll do a breakdown after. Yeah, I wanted to do a breakdown, so we'll pull one out of Discord after we look at this game. But I want to see Leshy. I didn't notice there was something rotating. It's on, so it puts something up for 60 seconds, then there's 3 rotations, and then it's off, like disappeared for 30 seconds. So this is Ryuchi and Claus. Claus ends up winning this game, but Leshy comes out to play, and I want to get it into my album. It feels weird to say that, but at the same time, it's cool. Like, there's something about the monster collecting stuff that is interesting. So Claus actually has a pretty cool opener here, in that Claus opened Henrietta Cowbell Bank into Bank to go to 7 keys. Whereas Ryuchi went with, you know, the somewhat standard opener of Gravedigger and 1. Now we see Leshy right away. So for anybody who wasn't sure what Leshy is, here's Leshy. This treant-looking dude, sort of. Although it isn't like a tree. This reminds me more of Swamp Thing. I mean, the head and the face don't really... You know what it reminds me of? Isn't there in Avatar The Last Airbender? Isn't there a character... Wait, you have the Swamp Benders that had, like, that vine monster. Yeah, isn't this the vine monster? Or doesn't it... I'm trying to remember. Anybody else know what the hell I'm talking about? Am I just, like... Does anybody have any clue at all? Like, this reminds me of the Swamp Benders when they go into the one forest. But anyway, not really what we're talking about. So Leshy is a 7-cost ultra rare. It has group hug. It has an AoE heal on a 3-turn cooldown for 1300 and change. Now this is a level 9 Leshy. It's very interesting. The damage output isn't bad. I don't really understand banking for it right now. Like, why did Claus do this? Because you're not going to heal these, right? They're going to die. Your opponent's not going to, like, split their damage or something. I know, but I can't really relate to your thought. That's fair. Most people can't really relate to the random thoughts. See? I worked it in there. It's real subtle. Just smooth and got in there, right? Anyway. So yeah, I don't really understand this Leshy bank. I mean, you can kind of bully everything just because it's arbitrarily a 7 cost. Although, does this heal itself? All adjacent, friendly, non-undead units. So it sounds like Leshy will not heal itself. Leshy seems pretty OP, why don't more people use it? So the problem is that it's a 7 cost heal that you need to get 7 keys worth of value out of. You could have a lot of other arguably better 7 keys just from a stat perspective. Like say you compare it to Pterodactyl. Pterodactyl is ranged and flying and probably with comparable damage. This is comparatively is melee, doesn't resurrect, does not have much more in the way of hit points. You know, we're talking, it's probably right about the same. And the heal means that you have to have already invested in other keys. So yes, it's very powerful, but it necessitates certain conditions to be met. I mean, if not OP, at least it seems good. This is literally the first time I'm seeing it, which is why I wanted to watch this game, so that way I can add it to my album. But right now, like, Leshy doesn't seem very good right now. The reason I'm saying that is, again, like, this cowbell is just gonna die, right? The Bowmangles hits it twice, and it's like, alright, it evaporates, so it's not gonna heal. The Henrietta hypothetically just dies. Now, your opponent's not going to do that because then the Gravedigger probably dies. Well, actually, it wouldn't because these are melee. So, like, if Ryuchi went in after, like, sent the Cowbell and the Gravedigger after the Henrietta just to remove it off the board so there's less board presence, Claws couldn't really retaliate in a meaningful manner. So we see the back and forth with the positioning. But right now, Leshy is just kind of a big dummy. It's just punching stuff. There's no healing going on. Which, again, if this was insert arbitrary 7-key Phobie, you could probably do the same thing. Now, the threat of the heal is there, of course, but we're now seeing another 1 cost. So it's like, okay, I'll heal my Gravedigger. Oh, wait, I can't. Womp womp. Now, we do see, I mean, we get the elimination here. They chose not to allow the Bowmangles to get pulled forward, which makes sense. But we also see a kill here. Now, Claws has an advantage with the panic points here. So there's still a lot of pressure, and Ryuchi left the Gravedigger on lava. That's kind of dangerous here. But we see a Bowmangle. Now, this is a worthwhile Phobie to try and heal, because this thing has a mountain of hit points. It's going to turret the crap out of your opponent. Like, this is pretty solid. It also comes out and immediately threatens this, can be pulled forward. It's like, oh, it took dimensional damage. I'll heal it off. Who cares? The Trap Phobie is whatever. I mean, it's 1,000 hit points, so it could hypothetically tank something. I mean, I think Leshy's biggest threat is just that it complicates all your opponent's math. Like, you must kill stuff. Like, you can't just let things be. You can't, you know, chip them down, for obvious reasons. Now, we see the break here with Gravedigger, which is a little weird. But it does allow Leshy to threaten the Crushmore without exposing itself. Now, this is a pretty cool play, getting the 1 key on here. I mean, we've seen this play 1,000 times, but, you know, you have the throwaway here. The difference is that it's not, like, Ryuchi is not able to threaten Bowmangles here. And can't really threaten Leshy either. I mean, it's at 1,100 health, but you still have to leave. You can't hang out here unless you decide, like, they were going to go in with everything, and you weren't going to... Well, hold on. So if Ryuchi went in with Bowmangles, Gravedigger... I can't click on things. So it would have been 5, 9, and another... Well, one of them would have taken a dimensional hit. It probably would have been the Gravedigger. This would have been left on the lava. I don't know. I think you go in and you kill this Leshy. Lights out, everyone's favorite. I don't... Like, is it unpopular in the general community? I'm not really sure. So here's another thing. We see a Muffin to come heal the healer. But yeah, I don't know. I think you go for that Leshy kill there. Maybe they ran out of time. I don't know if this was an arena game or not. Maybe they ran out of time. But not killing that Leshy is a big deal. I mean, the fact that the Muffin came out means that now this thing is back at 1,800 health. Like, that's a lot of effort you're going to have to expend to kill it. He just beat you in arena. So we see the follow-up with a Gonzo Bonzo here. She? Okay, cool. I did not know that, Gilbo. I will try to remember for the future and correct myself. So there's the heal. That's a pretty cool effect. Now, I guess it's only a 7 key, so it's not as exhilarating as, say, a Mildred effect or Brony. You know, like, clearly those had more. Okay, Gilbo. So we see a bunch of traps going down. This still goes on for another 10 turns, chat. Honestly, I just wanted to see the Leshy, but at this point, we're already so far invested, we might as well finish it out. This Gravedigger's going to take a beating, probably die. See, this is what they could have done in order to pick off the Leshy, and there was really no way for Claws to threaten it. I mean, it's possible the Bow Mangles goes down as a result. Maybe you lose, but I don't think you can lose the Bow Mangles and the Gravedigger on that turn. Like, you lose one or the other. And either one, I think you trade for Leshy just because it's such an enormous key investment. Gonzo is so good, I wish I had him. Gonzo is pretty solid. Gonzo is really solid. Hey, Luffy, what's good? What's good? Doing awful. Well, I hope things are looking up. I hope I can, I guess, spread some joy. I don't know. That feels a little extreme. Like, is anybody joyous when they join this stream? Or leaving the stream, for that matter? It feels a little overboard, right? Like, you might be entertained, you might have some laughs, but I don't know if joy is quite how you would describe it. You are jubilant? Well, I am very glad. Sounds like a religious experience there, player. Stream is comforting at the very least. Well, that's good. That, I can achieve comforting. I will be satisfied with lending comfort. We're just kind of going through this game because I'm 99% sure that Leshy is the last Phobie for my album, aside from Stress Unlocked. Gonzo Bonzo idle animation is kind of scary. Like, you just sit there and stare at you without moving. He also looks like that monkey toy in Toy Story. Well, he is supposed to be that kind of toy. I think. You know, for somebody, like, I collect toys. In before Chomp's Beard is an analogy for a comfy blanket. I don't know if that... Is comfort how someone would describe being encircled in my beard? I don't know. Let me know down in the YouTube comments. Or don't. I don't know if I want to know those comments. We'll have to see. But I was going to say, as somebody who collects toys, like I've talked about it before, you know, like I don't know if you guys can see it on the corner of the camera over here, but I collect all kinds of toys. Mostly Transformers, but a lot of Storm collectible stuff, some Mortal Kombat and Gears, G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Alien vs. Predator, a whole bunch of, like, a variety of different things. Basically everything that I like that I think looks cool. I really hate the Toy Story movies. Like, I don't like them at all. Like, they're not... I don't know why. I just don't like the characters, because the Buzz Lightyear movie is coming up, and people are all excited about it. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. Like, look, if you like Toy Story, great. I'm happy for you. But, like, I just don't care. No, I think you're thinking of Alistor, player. All this, and we don't even see Leshy use heal. Leshy use heal. It was up here. They healed Bo Mangles and something else that was up here. But they did use the heal. They did, in fact, use the heal. I think Claus specifically wanted a game where Leshy got MVP. I mean, it worked. It worked. Honestly, if Ryuichi kills Leshy on that one turn, I think they're okay. Here, we can show you, Gilbo. It's somewhere towards the middle. Like, I'll recognize the board state, I think, when I see it. But we get the Leshy early on. Like, I don't think this is a great showcase of Leshy's talents. I think Leshy would be feasible on... It should be somewhere around here, right? Alright, it must have been the turn before. Yeah, this is the turn. So, pay attention, everybody. Pay attention. Leshy is this. Leshy is this thing. Right here. So we have the bow mangles move back. Look at this massive heal, chat. Massive heal. It was like 266 damage. Whoa! Monster heal. But notably, Leshy does not heal itself, which you'd expect given the way Group Hug is worded. But, you know, for anybody who's out there, that's MVP material right there. True. Honestly, Leshy was moving around that board and doing a lot of work. Yeah, massive heal. Shout out to Claws for that. So we're going to open the other cranks, and then we're going to do an actual game review. I just wanted to look at that because, and we'll double check my album as well. Like I said, I'm 99.9% sure that that was the last Phobie that I was missing aside from stress unlocks in my collection. Gotta go to the correct place. Yep, there's Leshy. So we officially have seen every Phobie except for stress unlocks. And there are ones that, like, I know Akira exists and the Glob, like, I know they exist. But I haven't actually seen them in a game, and they wouldn't unlock here anyway. So, yeah, we're gonna do a game review. Leshy's probably better on large maps. Yeah, exactly, I agree with you. Anywhere where you can get more healing value, it's tough to do it there. I imagine Claws was just doing it for the meme kind of thing. Alright, chat. We're going to leave this in the main recording, but we're breaking down another viewer game, which, by the way, if you want to get your own games reviewed, jump on over in the Random Thoughts Discord or ! Discord on the live Twitch stream, RTChompGG over on Twitch. Link will be down in the description. But we're jumping in with a submission from our orange player here. Up in the orange trunks, leading out with a Gravedigger and popping that block, following up with a cat, we have JF. Now, Love Reina up here went with a somewhat abnormal opener for this map. Maybe not that abnormal, but the Murder Wing allows the capture of the immediate neutral point right away and then follows it up with a jar. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this opener. I don't know if there's really a great way to punish the Murder Wing here, so Spud can come out right away. Snowball can't hit it. There maybe aren't too many ways to punish this, actually. It might be okay, but a lot of people have moved to the Gravedigger opener. What ends up happening, just like on other maps, I mentioned this a lot, is people break these blocks up here. Either this one first so that you can immediately start running things, or through the course of the game, and then you can just run one keys and stuff to the central point. But, you know. Now, the thing I really don't like is the jar follow-up, because, like, okay, who cares? You're going to send a one key in here, and you kind of expect that it's going to die. It's not bad. Jar's still good on this map. But, like, okay, this caps the point, this caps the point, and okay, you got my cat if you want to advance. And the problem here is if you advance the Murder Wing, in order to threaten the cat, the Murder Wing is dead. And the jar is not going to kill the cat on its own, so it needs help. Hey, Crazy. What's good? Had a busy last few weeks of school, but finally arrived? Well, welcome. Welcome. So we're reviewing JF's game here, just to catch you up. We see a Gesundheit follow-up from the blue player. I'm still not a huge fan of one-move Phobies on this map, but they're clearly not interested in going with Gravedigger. I think at this point, if you were going to go Gravedigger, it's already on the board. And it may just end up screwing up your plans and your sequencing from a coin key banking perspective. But the Gesundheit does give you some control in order to threaten this center point. And the Moly Bully is actually a really cool follow-up. So this is something that I kind of forget exists because I rarely see Moly Bully. But look at this Moly Bully. It's a level 7. It does almost 650 damage. Just a, you know, a hair shy. And look at this adorable guy. Look at this. Adorable. But Moly Bully here can pour out a lot of damage, has a sizable bank of hit points, and in this particular case, the relevant piece, as always, is Burrow. So it gives that ability to get around the map and then get onto a point here. Notably, this neutral one that can't really be threatened. I mean, they can hit this and soften it up, but that means that the Murder Wing is in range, it'll die. The Unicorn moves up. Okay, that's safe. But the Gravedigger will also be in range, so that'll probably die. It's not really a great position for JF here. I love Moly Bully, had him for a while, but been using him a ton lately. Moly Bully, I feel, does not get enough respect. Now, this is a little bizarre. this follow-up. I'm not sure why the unicorn moved up here. Like, why not leave it in range? I guess there's the fear that it'll get blown up by an invade. But your opponent's not going to invade. They're going to hemorrhage a bunch of keys in return. Like, they'll trade key negative. Now, there might be a trap that got laid down, so it's just lay trap, get the hell out of dodge, I guess. And at this point, I guess they're just rearranging deck chairs so that way they can get things into position. The Moly Bully backed off, but our blue player is locked out of further Phobies. Admittedly, this Contortio is not long for the world. But we see the Moly Bully repositioned to the south. And this seems strange. So, our orange player does not currently have anything on the board to run in, but they only have 4 Phobies on the board. So what they're going to do is break this block, most likely. Spawn a 1 key, like break the block, move out of the way, spawn a 1 key, run it in. And they're clearly going to be able to kill this between the unicorn and the jar. I don't really understand why they backed off our blue player here. Unless they're fearing another invade. I guess the idea here that they're thinking is the unicorn moves up and the murder wing moves in. I get playing safe, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, I'll trade my 2 keys, because you're probably only going to kill either Gesundheit or Murder Wing, so 2 or 3, for your 5. Because one of them is going to have to stand right in front of Moly Bully. I don't know, this seems a little weird. Lights Out is one of my favorite. I don't know why people hate it. It's weird. It's a little clunky. Yeah, 1 movements. I've said that before. I don't like 1 movements on this map. Moly Bully likes to eat rocks? What? Does Moly Bully do that in, like, his animation or something? Alright, so we see a cowbell here. Like I said, we're just getting the 1 keys. I don't understand what this Gravedigger's doing right now. So this Gravedigger probably... Okay, so there's 2 thoughts here. Not breaking the block could be because they don't want the flyers here to stand and be able to hit something that's in this spot. However, if that's the concern, just don't stand it there. I think you would have been better served by breaking this block and then running the cowbell in now if you're going to do it, unless they're setting up for something. We'll have to see. Bring paddles, boom, problem solved. Fair. Fair. Oh, you haven't seen paddles yet, player? We'll show you after this game. Based Electric Cat play. There's the Electric Cat. I mean, at this point, we're just talking arbitrary Phobies, right? Yes, sir. If you see Moly Bully idle animation, grab some rocks and eat it. That's funny. I didn't know that. I'll have to watch for it. I'm sure I've seen it and just forgot. So we're doing the 1 key trade, but not as efficiently given everybody's setup. Now, here's the thing. Because our blue player had to advance like this, they should... Really? So they should be able to dive. Our orange player should be able to dive. No, they can't really get this Murder Wing unless they commit. And if they commit, I think they get blown up in return here. So obviously the cat is going to go down, but this makes sense. So they're going to soften up the Murder Wing. Obviously, if it goes in for jar, it's clearly dead. It might be worth doing that as our blue player, though. Can they actually trade? This would have been a 531. Yeah, they could have gotten the jar, and I think that might have been worth it. I think that might have been worth it, because if that Murder Wing ever comes back into position, well, that's not necessarily true. I was going to say that if it comes back into position, it's going to die. But that isn't inherently true, because they could snipe something else with a meatball or just leech enough life that it still lives. But we do have a pretty aggressive jar positioning from our orange player, which they kind of can do. And here's the problem. Like, this is really bad for our blue player. They didn't kill this, which means that they are effectively up another key because they don't have to spawn a follow-up 1 key to go retake that point, which will inevitably have to occur, right? Remember, small map, you have a max of 5 phobies that can be summoned. Exactly, yeah. Crush more Moly Bully lore. Yeah, Moly Bully apparently is the natural predator of Mount Crushmore, I guess, if he's eating rocks. Electric Cat has got to go on the other point because it's got to die. I don't think that's true because it's going to die eventually. There's no need, like, the way this game is playing out is similar to a lot of stalemates on many maps. We've reached our battle lines, right? We have our setup, you have your concave here, they're in the process of moving, but like, there was a concave here. Nobody wants to invade because whoever invades, they lose due to defender's advantage. Like, I'll dive and get your 2 key. All right, well, I'll kill 5 keys in return. Sucks to be you. The difference here is that because this 1 key lived, they're able to go recap that point again. But our blue player here didn't quite play the game that we were expecting them to. That is, they sent Moly Bully to take the point and the cat to body block. Now, the Moly Bully is damaged, so it is at risk here. But they're in the process of repositioning. Honestly, I think this is not... Okay, so there was a trap here. We didn't see it go down earlier because sometimes they don't show up on replays. But this is not the position that our blue player wants to be in. Because this cat is clearly dead. The Moly Bully probably dies. And then it's like, okay, you'll dive and get some stuff. But our orange player is up in general by 2 keys, but is virtually up by like 3 or 4 keys. Especially because out of this exchange, they're going to end up even further ahead. Maybe you're right, but if Electric Cat dies, they buy another 1 key to turn after that, plus you get more heart damage. Well, they already had the 1 key, or the panic point collected, so the heart damage would have been the same whether it lived or died. So, I mean, look at this exchange. Look at where they were starting the turn. Moly Bully, Cat, Gesundheit, Murderwing. Look at where they end the turn. Moly Bully, Jar. Not looking good. Yeah, orange is in a good spot here. I don't really get this invade by blue. I think this was aggressive. Like, why did they do this instead of... I think they were playing a little too defensive with pulling their stuff back in general. But I don't know why they didn't send the cat here. This is the game, this turn. Because you can't come back from losing that many keys and, like... This is hemorrhaging 6 keys right here and a ton of board position because even if, you have 9 keys in reserve, okay, well, I'll replace my 6 keys. Ignoring the fact that you lost 6 keys. It's just an enormous tempo loss because you don't have these blocks broken, so you have to walk all the way around and try and reclaim the board. Plus, your opponent's already in position to do mean things to you. So they're pulling back the damaged Moly Bully, supplementing with a Moffat, Cassowary, and, it's not Finnegan, it is Finnegan. Presumably the Finnegan is just arbitrary low cost. Cassowary makes sense. The Spider could be used to make something happen. But here we see 5 max Phobies and 0 keys versus, well, it was 4 max Phobies and 11 keys, but our orange player elected to follow up with a Contortio. Kind of makes sense. You're just going to send it in to cap a point, force them to run in. Also thinking about Klepto more, where Klepto got the gold coins. World of Phobies are just a bunch of monster creatures. Probably Klepto stole it from freaking Leprechaun. Be cool if Klepto is stealing the gold coins from Mimic the fake treasure chest monster. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some reference like that. I don't know if there are any Phobies, actually, that directly reference other Phobies in their stuff. Do they? Anybody know that? Alright, so we see the trades here, but, like, look, this game was over on that turn, because it would be very difficult for our orange player to throw it. And I think that they played it very well. I think that it just came down... This is one of those games where you outplay your opponent by just making less mistakes than them. Obviously, there's some times where you make a really crazy out there play. Like, nobody saw this coming. I'm making a cool play. There are other times where your opponent just makes a series of errors and you win because you did not make any errors. Now, those sound very similar, and I'm sure we'll get Atona in here to say, well, I win by playing better than my opponent, which is true. This is a very John Madden moment of, like, I won because I was better than my opponent. Well, yes, but the reason that you were better specifically, and it is different. Did your opponent make mistakes versus you made a cool play? Those are two different scenarios that lead to the same result, which is you got to win, and that's the important thing, right? Win with 10 keys bank, 2022 challenge difficulty possible. It's true. I mean, in this case, they still have only 6, but yes, point taken. Now, notably, our orange player is in a little bit of trouble with respect to heart, but the sheep and gas kind of closes out. So that was a pretty cool replay. So shout out to JF here for sending in that particular replay. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown. And like I said earlier, if you're interested in getting your own games reviewed either on stream or on YouTube, head on over to the Random Thought Discord. It'll be in the description, or ! Discord on the live stream. RTChompGG over on Twitch. Got to get the shameless self-promotion in there, which, by the way, likes and subscribes and comments do help. I did notice that I don't know if it's because of the comments on certain videos, as in, like, more comments lead to the algorithm, which I know it does, but I don't know how much it impacts it. More comments lead to the algorithm pushing the videos more. But the Friday videos always seem to do better. Like, whatever video I post on Friday does statistically better than the videos earlier in the week. It made me wonder, honestly, should I start posting videos on the weekends instead of during the week? But I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe people just watch more on Friday. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, players. Just the way it works out. Like, Mondays are not a good day for people to watch. You know. So that's why I was thinking maybe I post stuff on weekends, because that seems to be when people hang out on YouTube. Now, you would think that the people that, they're watching on Friday, it's like, oh, well, I want to watch some Phobies. Well, I'll check out the stuff that I missed during the week and go watch those. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It's weird. Doesn't hurt to test on Saturday and Sundays. Yeah, I might change the schedule. I think it would, truthfully, I think it would be too difficult in order to, go back to doing a 7-day schedule, like post literally every day as opposed to every weekday. It's hard enough making sure that I get the content, get it edited, get it uploaded, because say I do a 4-hour stream. It's probably like 6 hours minimum of editing, and then like another several hours of rendering to then get it up on YouTube and, do everything that I need to do. So, goodbye Tuesday, Thursday post. Well, I was going to skip Monday, Tuesday, but yes. I don't know. That might be a change in the future. We'll have to see. But anyway, let's jump into another game. Let's play some games. Let's actually play some Phobies. I do need to run some async games so that I can get my game count up, both for the weekly and seasonal rewards. Since I'm doing more game reviews, it's obviously just chewing up time, so I just don't have as much time to get in the games I used to. Whereas before, every stream would be like, we're playing games. If I'm doing game reviews, which I do enjoy, it just eats up some of the time. That's how it works. That's how time works, in fact. Feels like a John Madden thing. So what's going on, chat? 135 coffee from weekly reward and Sum of All Fears feels good. Well, I think you get that whether you're in Sum of All Fears or not if you hit gold. I'm pretty sure I got that in Doomsday. I could be wrong. Sum of All Feels. I like that. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, chat, but if you're interested in Fright Night, by the time this goes up on YouTube, this will already be underway. Well, yeah, it will probably have already closed signups by the time this goes up on YouTube. But if you're interested in Fright Night, we're trying to get Fright Night number 2 up and running. So check out the Random Thoughts Discord for details. I'm going to have to modify a couple of the rules to make sure that it's running a little bit smoother, or at least a little, some of the requirements, we'll say. Now that people are more familiar with the platform and the format, and we'll see what we can do. Time works by moving forward. It doesn't go backwards, and that's why time moves forward. It's true. In fact, that is the case. Quick question, have you actually seen Akira in replay or in a live game? I don't think I've seen it in either. I think I've only seen it in, like, screenshots. So this will be 489. 799. 805. This should live, right? Well, I mean, it won't, because it's going to get crapped on by a jar. It's going to get crapped on by a jar. I don't really like opening this way, but this is the only thing that we could have sent up here that wasn't going to die to a combination of this walking up, this leaping, and maybe a jar hit. Yeah, it's definitely a stress level. Well, maybe not definitely. I'm pretty sure it's a... Yeah, it has to be a stress level unlock, right? I have it in my album. Yeah, there is somebody who's like level 98 stress level. Somebody was posting screenshots of it, which is pretty wild to think about. Pretty wild to think about. Or 54. So they can kill creep if we allow it, basically. Like, if we put creep here, they could walk up, they could leap, they could hit it with jar, or other combination thereof. We're going to bank this one key. I don't really like the creep into stabby. However, this will force a Clinico out of our opponent, which I don't think they really want. And we do have 4 Phobies on board, meaning that we do have to be a little careful of overloading ourselves. Now, it's possible we should have sent the cat here, and the reason being is they could have gone 1-2, 1-2, and just retaken this point. And we couldn't really threaten it, to be honest. Like, this would have been a good play from our opponent to take this aggressively. Now, our creep will die to the stabby, because we're going to take this damage here, and then just regular attacks will kill it. I don't know that we want to do that. I think we bank. I don't think we want more stuff. Our opponent is banking as well. If we move this up, I think there are too many ways that something goes catastrophically wrong. To hit, like hitting this cassowary. We can't do anything. It has leap online. Like, I think we do this just to body block the position. And then we do this so that it can't leap and kill this for freezies. You seeing the ability in the Phobies Discord? Oh, did somebody post a clip of it? So there's the Clinico as expected. So we just set 2 keys on fire. Like I said, I don't really like the poison into stabby plan. I think the better approach is just overload it, like overwhelm it with a ton of stuff, or something really big. But stabby is problematic on this map. Like, it's actually a challenge to deal with. So we're going to go for a big nasty of our own. We're going to take this aggressively. I don't know if this is a good play. Honestly, we're kind of just trying this. We're sending the cat here so they can't recap this point as easily, but the cat may just die. They could body block this in, and we wouldn't trade necessarily efficiently. In fact, we're not even going to kill this unless we Jackalope King. We could follow it up, like run the cat in to then beat up the cowbell in addition to the Flopsy, but, you know. They have to run the cassowary away, because obviously this kills it. But I'm not sure exactly where they want to go from here. They still have 6 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 phobies on the board, so we can follow up with something, but we're probably going to bank if we can help it. There aren't... that I can... Cerberus is a problem. I was going to say there aren't too many phobies they can follow up with that we care about, but... now this kind of has to go here, unless they run it, like, all the way back here. I guess they could... yeah, I mean, that's fine for them, I guess. We still kill it. So they will kill both of these. I think what we're going to do is bank for a sheep. We're pulling this out just so that we can possibly get out of here, but realistically they're going to body block this. They could actually kill it if they pull this back, or pull up, hit it, move the stabby, and then they run Clinico in. I don't know if they can rearrange things, but we're kind of hemorrhaging keys here. I don't know that I like this, but given that the Cerberus is as slow as it is, the Stabby is as slow as it is, I'm hoping that we can leverage a more mobile board position. Alright, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I agree with you. Phobies, for the most part, is a skill-based game, but there are challenges with certain aspects for obvious reasons of, okay, well, yeah. If you massively out-level someone, we've talked about it before. Out-leveling someone allows you to make mistakes. How many mistakes is the question? And it affords you the opportunity to be like, oh, oops, I missed position. Oh, oops, I did this. But if you are just blowing somebody out because of, you know, you're just crushing them with phobia levels, like, okay, there's not much they can do about it most of the time. What we probably have to do is this. And then what 1 key are we doing? I guess we could do a 2 and do this and blow it up and then send that over there. I don't know that we really want this. Game? He's actually going to heal that all off. They're going to walk up and punch the pterodactyl, and that's going to heal all the damage off. So we should have hit it once and kited. This was a mistake. Well, they're not going to heal it all off, but they're going to heal a good portion of it off. I don't know that that was worth it. We do have the panic point advantage for now. We are going to lose the sheep. I mean, that's kind of expected at this stage. What are we going to do? You know. Yeah, you won't be able to kill this and then walk this on it. Like, there isn't a position where you can do that. But I think we just send the sheep in. We'll kite with the pterodactyl. It's going to have to pull all the way back to here. If we leave it any closer, then this and the Stairmaster might actually kill it. Will it? Yes, it will. We'll bank the other keys. I mean, we don't really have much of a choice. This means the Gesundheit can pop over and hit this. I don't know that that's really going to be enough. But if we advance it, it's probably dead. We may be in trouble here, chat. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm trying to force this sheep into Cerberus plan, but I don't know if that's really what we want to do. We can't kill this. We could run this back, actually, and then just try and hold the point that way. Like, go stand Cowbell here, move Flopsy back here, and then be okay. The problem is that Jar is going to represent an issue, because that means that it can kill what we, what it needs to. Oh, this is aggressive. Well played. Well played. So they cannot get the pterodactyl back here. Did not want to do that. 345. So we need to hit it with this first. At least one of these. And then this. They have one key left. Ah, we didn't get it in time. I shouldn't have... I wanted to move this here so we'd have room to pull it out, but that's probably a mistake. Because now this will... It's possible it dies. We'll see. So this is a lot of heart damage. There's a lot of heart damage. But this thing is not long for the world, for obvious reasons. You don't heal when you hit the heart. Why not kill Cerberus? I don't think we have the damage to do it. Because we would have gotten the Gesundheit, but only gotten a single hit. We might have... Well, maybe we could have. I don't know. I mean, it's dead now, right? If the Crushmore was in position, we'd already be in good shape here, but it's not. Well, I guess we're in fine position. I can't complain too much, right? We'll get a little bees! Unfortunately, we still have to hit this game. We still have to hit the Stairmaster. I thought you did last turn, but I might have miscounted. It's possible. I might have not paid attention to it, too. I was just letting the sheep hit tick on it. Would healing by hitting the heart be OP? Personally, I don't think so, because the Defender's advantage is a win more mechanic, but I don't think it's too strong. I think it would... I mean, by definition, it's going to change certain scenarios, but I think I've had probably a dozen games. Now, I've played hundreds at this point, so scope here. But I played probably at least a dozen games where if my opponent or I was able to leech life by hitting the heart, we absolutely would have won, because then your phobie lives. It's not necessarily a win more, because it changes the math on a race. So, like, if that Cerberus was healing hitting the heart, I might never kill it. Yeah, high five might be a serious issue then. Cerberus, less so, but high five... I think high five does more damage to the heart pound for pound. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, and I think we tilted our opponent. we may have tilted them a little bit. I think we've got them. So this plan worked out okay. Seems alright. High five's not undead, but otherwise I think it'd be fine. I'm pretty sure high five's undead, isn't he? Am I thinking of the wrong phobie? If it works like that, then ability that can burn tiles should work on burning the heart too. Yeah, I get that the heart has special rules, and it's just one of those things that's like, okay, that's how the game works. It's fine either way. It doesn't have to be that way, but the fact that it is not, like, a problem. Game. There we go. I mean, the game is over. It's probably going to end right now. GG! We'll take that W. We'll take that W. You just want your Cerberus to be better? I mean, don't we all want Cerberus to be better? Don't we all want Cerberus to be better? I mean, I know I do. I don't know that 500 is enough. And the thing is that it causes weird scenarios, so it's not... High Five really... Yeah, I meant to check that. How much does High Five cost? I'll finish the other thought in a moment. Here's High Five. Yeah, it's undead. So, the trade-off here is, let's say that the tile stuff works, you know, leeching life, which means that does poison work on the heart? I mean, like, I think you have to do one or the other. Either nothing works or everything works, because otherwise, I personally feel that leads to very confusing and negative situations where it's like, well, why do the tiles work but not poison? Or why does this work but not that? So I think it's all or nothing. But the problem is that I think it also causes weird math. If you, like, right now, I don't think you can change it. I don't think you can change it. But if the game started that way, I think it'd be fine. It would clearly, like, stuff like High Five and Cerberus might need rebalancing to a degree. You know, just change some of the numbers. I don't know. Disease on heart is kind of scary. Yeah, that would get really scary on. Although that would be funny, too. Like, it's just a clock. It's like, if you disease it, it's effectively just one panic point, right? You're back, what'd you miss? Well, we're talking about what would happen if the game allowed the heart to have all of the effects applied to it, like Life Leech from Undead, or, I mean, I guess Alistor as well, which somebody was asking about Alistor. You know, the Drain Life, Tiles, Poison, Disease, that sort of stuff. Not tonight, player, although that may come up anyway. First time I hit a heart and it wasn't poison, my thought was, yeah, that makes sense, you probably don't want that. I think it's probably true, because I think it... Here's part of the problem. Having those effects, like, say, poison work, this is a better example than the undead. That encourages just diving your opponent's heart. Because getting that to tick on the heart and forcing your opponent to cluster. So, like, you dive with a poison phobie. Think about, like, Henrietta, that lasts for 1,000 turns, or, any of the ones with high poison levels, like Miss Moffat or Suckassin. Those get on there, they poison it, it's ticking down, it's effectively extra panic points, and then in the meantime, you're reinforcing with other phobies and hitting the other panic points. I think it just leans into aggressive strategies a little too much. I think this forces you to interact with your opponent more than if you were able to get more benefits from hitting their heart. Like, it centralizes the game, hypothetically, on just diving the heart, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just different. But the question is, would people want that different world? I don't know. Smiley on his way to the enemy heart? Yep, that would be funny. Or like 2 panic points can never be recaptured if you disease the heart. It depends on the disease, but yes. I was thinking, like, a lot of the Smileys I've seen are between 200 and 300. So that's what, or Pescetti is somewhere around there. Now, as you get higher in level, of course, yes. It could be more than that. I don't think that's true, Gilbo. I feel like that phobie's not bad. It would be cool to have the game mode exist, like the heart can be healed and poisoned just like any other phobie. I think the disease is where it really gets weird, though. Because it would really suck to be like, there's literally nothing I can do. I'm going to lose to this, and there's no way I can stop it other than out-aggress my aggressor opponent. And that doesn't feel good. Like, that's a very binary scenario that collections may not even allow you to do. So, that means, do we need to change disease? Like, oh, you can heal it off the heart, this is a special exception? I don't know. I agree it would be cool if they had a mode for this just to try it, see if people like it. It might work if they did less damage, 50%. While I agree, Baba, the problem here is that that's adding extra rules. Like, at the end of the day, this version of Phobies, I think, has its probably an equal quantity and value assessment of benefits as it does if you could get stuff off the heart. But it is way less complex to just say, no, you can't do anything to the heart, than having special rules of like, this works this time, or this only does such and such a percentage, or this does that, or this. It's a video game, so it will do all of those things for you, but it just adds a layer of overhead that doesn't sound bad to somebody who's been playing the game for a while. But there's still interactions, and I've been playing the game a lot, that I don't quite grok. And that's somebody who's playing this game and streaming it. Imagine somebody who's just, they're like a phone pooper. Like, they're just playing Phobies while they're taking a dump a couple times a week. Because it's fun, they like the art, they just want to screw around. Every time that person is pooping and phobieing, and they go, well, that's weird, why didn't that work? Or that's weird, why is it happening this way? That's this much closer to them giving up the game entirely. So having it just be simple, I think, is the best answer. I think. Feel this escalated way past what I meant. Like, I feel the undead reads like they heal for damage they do, not damage done to Phobies. Well, I agree, Luffy. It just kind of, like, I think it's an interesting discussion. Like, I've had the same thought of this sort of mode, like, expanding it beyond that. Because it's very much like you start with the Phobies, that are the undead Phobies, and then it's like, well, if it's undead Phobies, then you have to have these other things, and then how does that look? How does this look? I think it's an interesting discussion. Hoping Baba Haha will appear in today's stream. We'll see. We'll see. Disease might not even be that strong, because it's like 200 Biscotti, and if you reach the heart, you probably sack 6 keys for disease. Which would be, yeah, I mean, it's possible. That's what I was thinking, Blair. In entertaining news, I totally use... We're trying to avoid the feels bad scenarios when explaining the goal we were trying to win for a Nice, Doc. Did it make sense? Like, did everybody immediately grok it? What are the other diseases? There are 3 disease Phobies. They probably will add more. I'm sure they'll add more. I used that with a client. Like, did it work, Doc? Because that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's Foul, it's Piscetti, and it's Smiley are the 3, I believe. Can you imagine how catastrophic it'd be if they patched in something as major as allowing Heart to be interacted with in any capacity? They lose at least 10 games before they fully learn it. Oh, 100%, Luffy. 100%. Like, because this is the thing. Even if you make it, like, as the developer, this is something people need to understand for video games in general. It's easy to look at stuff and go, well, why don't they change this? And ignoring the work, like, just putting the amount of effort that may be involved in doing it. Let's say they could snap their fingers and make this change, which it wouldn't be easy. Just, it wouldn't. Believe me. Let's say it was easy. They put the change in. They make this big announcement. They put it on Twitter. They put it on Discord. They put it in Facebook. They have it in client. They have these pop-ups and shit. I guarantee you minimum 40% of the population has no clue that it happened when it goes in, and don't understand why any of their games work the way that they expect. Full stop. Why do I know this? I know this factually because this is exactly what happens to digital card games, specifically Hearthstone. And the developers for Hearthstone have said on multiple occasions that this is the reason why they don't like doing certain things. That's before you consider somebody that was playing Phobies, say, in March. They played in March and April. They took a break in May. It's now June. Maybe they can't because, you know, their kids are out of school. They got to organize stuff, work change, they moved, whatever, real life stuff. They come back at the end of July and go, all right, I'm going to play some Phobies. I haven't played that game in a while. I really like that game. Let me jump back in. All right, I just bought some coffee. Oh, I got these cool new Phobies. Let me run in and try them out. Why does nothing work the way I thought it did? Those people, and this is not a knock against them, never read the patch notes. And that's just a thing in card games and games in general. As somebody who plays a lot of games and streams a lot of games, I'll read patch notes and I'll forget. Like, it happens. So, but the difference is I will probably go and say, all right, well, I'll figure it out. Or there must have been a patch. Let me go see. For people that aren't as invested, they're just going to walk away. And that's a problem, because once they walk away, they're not coming back. It sounds like a simple decision. We'll just make this change or fix this thing or whatever. It's not always so simple. You have a very narrow window to do stuff like that, and it doesn't always work out. Imagine hearts being movable. Oh my god. If you could boop it. My client completely understood what I was talking about. That's actually awesome, Doc. That's awesome. I just want a chaos mode where you play in small maps. The rules for how keys work are the same as big maps. Oh my god. Can you imagine floor is lava with like 40 keys? That seems wild. That seems wild. Oh, Hearthstone would be very confusing returning and constructed, finding old cards that are nerfed and unnerfed and even buff past perks. Yeah, it gets weird. At a certain point, you just have to accept it, but it is definitely a turn-off point for people, and it becomes an off-ramp to stop playing and go play another game. That's a game I want to play. Which game are you talking about, DT? We had a whole bunch of suggestions, so I don't know which one you're talking about in particular. But yeah, it can be a big deal for people. It can be a big deal, and it can be problematic. It can be problematic. All right, we're going to jump in. We'll play another game, and then we'll probably do another game review. Floor is lava with 40 keys. Have fun. Actually, that sounds bonkers in a really funny way. I don't know. Maybe it would be really fun. I've been thinking it might be cool if there's a phobie that has to have its damage its own heart to get a buff for some turns. I could see them doing that, where like it's a self-damage thing. Maybe I doubt they would do it with they probably wouldn't do it with damaging your heart, but I could absolutely see them doing it with a phobie that just damages itself to get a temporary buff. Like, that's something I could definitely see happening. I got lost to Yogg Saron being played. He casts a random spell for each spell cast in that game. Yep. It's 20 plus. The nerf Yogg stops casting spells and Yogg dies said spells. Yeah, not anymore. Oh, they got rid of that? So now it's back to the way it originally was? I don't know how I feel about that. Not that I really care. I mean, I haven't played Hearthstone in a very long time. So if they go here, they kill the cassowary. If they go back here, like, they can kill the cat. I don't know that there's anything we can do about it. I want to keep Meatball online. They banked to 6, which is fine. I think we're going to do this to cap the mid, and this also allows us to bank to 8, which is not, like, a great number for us. I have literally 0 8-cost phobies. But it does allow us to crap out, say, a pterodactyl or something. By the way, Ergo Limited is my favorite map of all time. It is a small map. Interesting. Why do you like that map? I wonder why cows have bells? I mean, are you asking why cowbell has a bell, or are you asking why cows in real life wear bells? Yogg died to a twisting nether, then cast 15 more spells, and I died. Womp wah. I want a snapping turtle monster phobie with a 1 move and a lot of damage and ability that it can heal for a bite by getting inside it. It can heal for a bit by getting inside its shell, but you sit there for a turn, allowing your enemies to attack you freely. That's an interesting idea, Gilbo. It's actually kind of interesting. Wow, they didn't kill the... Okay, I was going to say, are you not killing the cat? You have to kill this cat. They could have gone here. I guess they just didn't want it to end up in a bad spot. I don't know. This means they can obviously kill this thing off, which, you know, they're going to. So this is a flyer. It allows us to, you know, get into position wherever we want. This will allow it to pop over. They can't hit anything except with the Jin Sting. They're going to flip this panic point and probably cap the mid. Which, I mean, there's not much we can do about that. It's like attaching a GPS tracker to your chair. Hard Nostalgia was one I spammed the first few days I started, but I feel perfectly balanced. Light Lobber Supremacy, Flyers good but not OP. Fortunately, no Abyss, but Stim Pads near the heart for really fun strats. That's fair. That's fair. So the obvious thing here is that they can now kill the Flopsy and then move the Murder Wing onto it. So we're just not going to let them do that. So they went with Miss Moffat, which could make things very, very complicated for us. Alright, so we clearly got to pull this back. We could go up here. Like, say we went here. This collapses. So they could pull it, hit it for 6, 9, or 10. Like, I don't think they can kill this. They could hit it with a jar, but, like, that's about it. I'm not real concerned about this thing getting pulled by the spider. I am concerned about this. So they have to move into range in order to get it. So if we go here, that means it can move. It could hypothetically reclaim this if they move out of position, but it could also threaten the middle. We're going to go with Rambolina and threaten a little boop action, I think. I've kind of fallen off the wagon as far as Rambolina goes on this map. Like, there's a few different reasons. We don't want to be in this spot because they could hypothetically spider pull and then walk the sheep down. Leaving the cassowary there was probably fine, though. So what are you going to do? Sheep it? I mean, okay. You don't have enough damage to kill this thing, so... Like, I guess we don't get the sheep, because we won't have enough damage to truly punish it, especially since this cassowary is out of position. I'm sorry, player, what? Alright, so they crack a muffin in order to heal the spider. It's kind of a bold move, Cotton. So we're going to reclaim this top point. This popped the gas, so it's not a threat. No, we don't want to do that. We don't really want this here either. So they could walk up and then hit this with Klepto. Like, they probably can kill this Murder Wing this turn, because it's going to be very low. It's just a matter of, like, what they kill it with. Yeah, they're going to absolutely kill it. This is definitely happening. This is definitely happening. You move back. I think you just get the hell out of Dodge. We might need our own Miss Moffat. We might need our own Miss Moffat. I don't know that banking here was worth it. Because now, like, this will have its pull online next turn, meaning that we can't leave the Pterodactyl here. I mean, we can't leave it really anywhere. Well, I guess we could leave it there, hypothetically. No, it has to be lower because they'll be able to hit something from this, hit it with something in this position, or just the murder wing coming down. That's interesting, player. I did not know that. I learned something every day. It's an educational stream, folks. So we could boop, like, maybe the Contortio, but probably not. Like, I don't think a boop does anything for us here. A spider that was in position here would have been better, because, like, we would have gone 1-2, 1-2. We could be here, we could run in and pull something. As it is, this is going to accomplish mostly zip. If we go here, the spider can't get it. This can't get it. Like, nothing can reach it except for this, and it can only reach it by walking. But this could come back and pop something. If we go here, what does this boop get us? It kills the Contortio, but that means nothing, for the most part. We're gonna get this online. I don't know that we actually want it, truthfully. This now has gas online. This can pull something, so we're gonna back off. We can go down here and get the murder wing. 2. You can get the cassowary here. We might regret not getting the spider online, honestly. I kind of went for the Hevo out of habit, but I think that might have been a mistake. So we still have a panic point advantage temporarily. There's the Wooly Bully power down. We're not going to maintain this panic point advantage because we're going to have to give up this one. We probably have to just run Pterodactyl to where the murder wing is. And they are obviously threatening up here. So the question is, can we make something happen here? We kind of have to dive and kill the spider. I don't think this will boop it off the map, but we'll see. Yes, it will. Sweet. I wasn't sure. So the question becomes, do we want to hit it with Hevo, or do we want to do, like, this? We're doing that for a reason, because we don't want to be standing on the fire. Now, if this goes in and pulls, it probably ends up here. Like, it should end up on this spot, right? I don't know if that's actually going to be the case. I truthfully have no idea, and that's a little scary to me. We're gonna go with our own spider to try and make spider things happen. Spider pig does whatever spider pig does. Murder wing here. I don't know. So the poll is online. We might lose like Rambolina. I don't think that's possible in this scenario, but I mean, maybe. They can absolutely kill like the cassowary. Maybe they can get it. Because they're going to get another hit with this. Now, we could run this away. And Clinico. Like, I don't hate a Clinico in this scenario. We have two things worth protecting, both Hevo and Rambolina. We see their own Pterodactyl come into the fray. Alright, so their Clinico shows up. Wait, did you heal the... Did you heal the Klepto? Did the Klepto even take damage? What? Chat, what is happening? What is going on? I have to admit some confusion. I'm sure Collecto haven't gotten damaged. Yeah, that must have been like a misclick or something, I guess. I don't know. But this is still powered down. We're just gonna snipe some things. And force them to come to us. We have max number of phobies. Womp womp. We have too many phobies. What a foolish play. So this can go here. Hit this. Like, they might be able to kill the spider? Question mark? I'm not really sure. But if they come in this way, we can pop over the top with Pterodactyl, move up with Murder Wing. Like, we should be able to crush an invasion here, I think. The big deal is, like, leaving this cassowary exposed, which maybe we didn't want to do. I'm not sure. And we get the bully bonking people. Bonks the cassowary. Are you really going to move the pterodactyl in? Wow, that is bold. I mean, it is a lot of damage. Maybe we can't get it. Maybe we can't get it. We're absolutely going to try, clearly. I don't think you really want that Clinico next to it either. We can't get it. Well, we can. I just don't want to do it this way. So, like, this Murder Wing is dead, right? It's just dead. So they're out of keys. If we go here, they hit it for 484. That will kill it, and then they can step on it. So we go here. This just pressures their heart. I don't know that that's really what we want to do, but, you know. We're going to lose the Rambolina and the Murder Wing this turn. Maybe the Spider as well? Possibly. They should have a pull online. And this is obviously a ton of splash damage, but... like, maybe we threw. We get the power down here. That's not great. I mean, we can still light things on fire, which is relevant. Their Clinico's gone, so if they don't kill the spider, that means that we will be able to just poison everything. Or a lot of stuff, anyway. So this should push it straight back, right? Like, the spider should not die here. Yeah, the spider's not going to die. If they dive here, like, they're just dead, right? So we just back off to a defensible position and say, come get me? Like, if they come after this cluster, they should die, I think. I mean, the Klepto is going to be taking a ton of damage between poison and the fire. I don't know. Technically, charge actions grant an extra action. I'm assuming you mean, like, the Mr. Tramples of the world. Now, the problem here is we may not be able to get this pterodactyl out of here safely. Maybe it doesn't matter, but, you know. Charges in Casso and Primate, so leaps. I mean, technically, the charge for Mr. Tramples is the same sort of thing. And Sucky, true. There's also always Sucky as an option. I mean, sort of. So if we pull you, you end up here. We can hit you once. That's it. A whopping 68 damage. I mean, that's not the important part, but, you know. They could get the jar, but that means that Wooly Bully will die. I think we're fine waiting at this stage. I can't pull Wooly Bully to get anything of value because the spider would have to be here. So we basically just split their forces here. We have panic point control. We could have continued hitting their heart with the pterodactyl, rather. The problem is if I do that, the pterodactyl's going to die. Yeah, so you have to go in with Klepto, which is... I'm okay with that. I'm pretty sure this is the turn that the power down comes off. Yeah, we're back to full power now, so we're going to kill some stuff. If Pterodactyl dies on the Abyss, that Pterodactyl can't revive? Correct. We can't boop this in a way... Well, I guess we could. Are we going to do that? That seems stupid. I was going to pull it and then boop it just for the sake of it, but, like... Is that really what we want to do? We can instead do this. Then we just kill this thing. Ha! The Clinico beats! And Pterodactyl's safe. I mean, I don't know what they do from here. Move Clinico, pull Wooly from Clinico position. Yeah, I mean, we could have. Yeah, either way, I think we're in a good position. That might have been a better play. That might have been a better play. Because so you're saying this pulls here, and then, yeah, I mean, we would have hit a bunch of stuff. It's fine. So they're hell-bent on getting the Hevo, I guess, but, I mean, they can't even kill it. It is cute to pull it into its own fire, though. I mean, that's a thing. Is this lethal? It is, in fact. GG! I don't mind this map. I always refer to it as Raining Worms, but it's actually called Rent Past Due. I'm pretty sure. It's an okay map. Like, I don't mind it. Ooh, we actually I don't remember the last time I completed a quest. I'm not even joking, because we've been doing so many game replays. We're doing so many game replays, but that was pretty cool. Win again with the Molotov Cocktail Party Bringer. I'm telling you, it is probably my favorite flavor text in this game. It's just hilarious to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool Phobie flavor text. I wish that there was flavor text for these ones, the ones with abilities, but the ones with abilities don't get anything. I mean, and you gotta love bees! But yeah, the flavor text and just general theming of Phobies is spectacular. I love it. Rent Past Due, most relatable map. Oh no, next to Penny Dropped? Yeah. Womp wah. The game is afoot. I do have to love Cowbell, though. My bee's already level 9. Nice. Nice. You gotta love a little bee action, right? A little bee action. Here we are. We're talking about another viewer-submitted game, which, by the way, if you want to get your games reviewed either live here on my Twitch stream, RTChompGG, by the way, or over on YouTube, and you can check the Discord description or ! Discord in the live Twitch chat for a link to the Random's Thoughts Discord. Just jump in there, submit your game into the Games and Highlights channel, and it'll end up on stream or on YouTube, or both. But we're going to get a chance to break it down. And today, right now, we're going to be taking a look at AmazinJ's game here against Joker. So we see a boss MVP, which is actually kind of cool. So let's take a peek. What do we got? We do have... Let's see, we're on... This may sting a bit, I believe. So here down in the blue trunks, we have our bad guy, the heel. It is Joker. Starting with the Cassowary and Maggie opener. Respect it. Respect it. But up here, our hero in the orange trunks, it is AmazinJ. So AmazinJ, we'll see what their response is to the Cassowary Maggie opener. I think this is reasonable. Obviously, Murder Wing is another option, but going 2-2 here is pretty cool, because clearly the Cassowary is more value. What I found in a lot of cases, though, on this map is this top corner panic point, as well as this bottom one that's down here, tend to end up in a weird spot where stuff gets trapped. Typically more with this, the first player stuff. So you say you send a cat up there. The cat gets trapped because the orange player sends, say, a Murder Wing or other flyer over here, and then they threaten recapping this. So you end up leaving your thing. Maybe they want to leave the Cassowary there, maybe they don't. It could be tying up a valuable resource up there that you don't want. So we'll see what AmazinJ starts out with here. We get a more traditional Murder Wing opener. And we get a K9000. Now, the real question here, we did not see the other one drop come down. Now, I've kind of become a fan of that opener, going 3-2-1 on this map. But I can respect the 3-2 here. Now, we get more flyer follow-up, but even more interestingly, we get a unicorn out of our blue player. Now, this will clearly take, you know, roughly the Mesozoic in order to try and get into position, but dropping traps on the center point could lead to some big swings towards, we'll say, the middle of the game by the time this gets up there. Now, we do see the return caps, and obviously no one's really enthusiastic about diving the center just yet. But now we do see our blue player go for it, and the follow-up Gravedigger from AmazinJ is very interesting. I'm not real sure about that, but we'll see if it leads to something interesting. In the meantime, our blue player is now assembling the Armada. Battle Cruiser is operational. Well, not really. I mean, this is more like a Wraith, I guess. This, I mean, your StarCraft 1 fans will probably say it's a Scout. Maybe. Maybe this could be the Wraith, and then, like, this is a Scourge. This isn't quite like Broodlord level. But anyway, analogies aside, we see the Murder Wing come back here. We get the meatball play in order to eliminate Maggie. Bang, 2 keys incinerated. But the bank here led to the boss man himself. And it looks like he has some jobs to cut here, because he's coming in and some people are about to get fired. Now, we do see the aggressive Ray Chargels play down here. Now, this is a higher level Ray Chargels than I've typically seen. This is a level 7. Not super high level, but it has 1400 health. It's not going to die super quickly, but the boss will have an opportunity to put a hurt on it and for the K9 to try and intercept it. It's not actually going to be able to hit, but the problem is, you know, mechanical into Ray Chargels, that's probably pretty bad, right? Seems not great. But we start seeing traps go down. We start seeing a sheeping gas follow-up, but we also see a whole lot of blue panic points. So this is some pressure on AmazinJ to make something happen. And now we get a jar follow-up, which is also curious. It will allow some pokes in order to ensure that some of these things go down quicker. And we get the boss into Ray Chargles. Now, the problem with this play, I think this is probably correct, but it doesn't come without costs. So, presumably, Ray Chargles is not going to stand here and try and man-fight boss. So, your boss is likely healthy. However, you're not killing it this turn. If they choose just to straight up run away, you're not killing it. And now the boss is even farther away from the center point action, which is really where you kind of need it, both for its ability, which for anybody who's not aware, you're fired is going to put, it's going to deal damage to the enemy unit and all of the adjacent units. It also sets all of those tiles on fire, or all the, sets fire on tiles within 2 range. And it melts ice by 1 phase, but we don't care about that right now. Point is that there's going to be an enormous amount of fire for 2 turns sitting on the board. And you want to try and get that into a valuable position here. Now, it's possible our blue player mispositions and allows, sticks something out, and then the boss can connect with that. It spreads the rest. Maybe. But it does kind of suck to have to send the boss down here. Now, the Gravedigger coming down here presumably is to try and, again, cut off Ray Chargel, since the K9's not going to do a good job of that. What I expect it will also do is move back up and break this block, so that way the jar can just get on the panic point. But this jar is a 508 health versus a 501 cassowary. That actually hurts for our blue player, because they can't just leap on the jar and eliminate it. They're going to need support. So we'll see what our blue player does. They elect to just get the hell out of there, which, I kind of expect that. Boss is cool. Well, actually, he's very hot. See what I did there? So we see a Peschetti follow-up. Peschetti. Chat. Peschetti. I just like saying it. It's fun to say. Peschetti. Anyway. And Sporgetti. So, Creepy Tentacle Monster is gonna disease some things. Boss is indeed hot. It's true. It's true. So, we're still taking a lot of heart damage. I keep wanting to say core damage, but that's not actually the case. We're taking a lot of heart damage as our orange player, but we do see, this is weird. So, the elimination here of Cassowary, okay, I get it. The walking of the jar to take the scenic route is weird here. Like, what are you doing with the Gravedigger? Oh, okay, this is kind of cool. End of high temperature? I see what you did there, player. But this is actually a pretty cool play. Our blue player does not have anything in position to really crack this statue anytime soon. They do have some flyers that could get over the top, but that's going to necessitate a lot of things falling into position. Instead, we now have a walled-off jar that can just section off this area. The drawback is, this K9's probably not going to live. You're still down a ton of panic points. This is a lot of pressure here. But we see the Scritch coming in to support everything, and of course a 1 key in order to start recapping points. I mean, we need the board presence as the orange player at this stage. Because right now we're down to 5,400 health. Still a sizable amount, but we're clearly in the point of we need to win by actually eliminating their phobies. Now, this is not great positioning here. The sheep is able to get a very strong hit both on boss and the Gravedigger, neither of which you hate to see it. You just hate to see it, chat. It's not looking great for our orange player here, honestly. Now, the blue player elected to leave the unicorn in position, which is strange. In position meaning that it's going to get tagged by the jar. But the sheep does go down. Given that boss is such a high key unit, it is able to tank a little bit. But it can't tank everything forever when it's taking that much poison damage. Remember, boss is dimensional. However, boss is just going for it. Powered up Scritch, it is juiced, and I am vengeance. Unfortunately, this was a little poorly timed. Oh no, you hate to see it, chat. While you do get the double kill, you're fired, exactly. You do get the double kill here, and obviously there's nothing in range. Well, Yeah, there's nothing in range that can actually connect with the boss. The problem is that you do whiff on the Clinico. So what should have happened is the Clinico happens first, then the boss, then the Scritch, then the boss. And then you do all of this, but boss takes less damage because it would have lost 1 turn of poison. It worked out okay regardless. It just would have been a better play there. I assume what happened here is probably what happens to me, is just the turn was, as you're figuring things out, it's a big map. It's much more complex than smaller maps from way some of these movements work and what your options are. So, probably ran out of time. We'll see. The strats are crazy. Like, this was pretty cool. Welcome back, Gilbo. Didn't Clinico just spawn this turn? Yes, but Clinico does not have an initial wait on its heal. So you can immediately pop out, and I don't know if this is true for all the healing phobies, but for Clinico and Muffin it is. I don't know about Dr. Dermic offhand, but you can just pop them out and heal something right away. Oh, actually, no, if you're talking about, yes, you're right. So this wouldn't have been in position, if that's what you're suggesting. So I'll take it back. There's nothing they could have done there. The Clinico never would have got there. It never would have been in range because it only walks up to, like, here. Not in range. So thank you, chat, correcting me on that. Anybody who catches that on YouTube, there you go. Everybody's already writing their angry response and be like, you fool! It never would have reached! But chat's already got me covered. Cheese recipes? I'm down for talking about cheese recipes. Chat's being weird again, YouTube. Alright, so we see the Murder Wing picking on Paschetti here, which is kind of expected. I'm actually very curious if this is something that AmazinJ does on this map a lot, like trying to lock off the jar here. I'm not a huge fan of it. The reason I say that is, so this jar, while it does lock down this area, I don't know, it just feels like maybe a lot of opponents that they're running into can't dive the jar because of this setup then. I mean, this is a 508 health jar, so you need some fairly high-level things outside of a Murder Wing in order to one-shot it. And if you don't one-shot it, you're absolutely losing whatever went in, right? It makes the movement a little weird, but I'm going to have to keep this in mind, see if we can set something like this up. No, we didn't get that far yet, Gilbo. So Paschetti clearly is going to clear out the Murder Wing up top. We get a Stairmaster? Really? I mean, the Stairmaster's been there, but like just walking it into range here is interesting. The boss had to cap this point. There is a lot of damage on this heart. It's down to 4,200 health. I guess the blue player is thinking that they can just go for it? I mean, they gotta clear this jar out, and the jar is trapped, right? So I guess this is fine. They actually cannot kill the Stairmaster, so I was incorrect earlier when I said if something goes in, it just kills it. That's not actually true. Now, our blue player is out of keys, whereas our orange player still has 10 keys remaining. And if you'll look closely, chat, there's a lot of orange on these panic points. It won't be orange for much longer, some of them, but this is still pretty dangerous. That's actually a cool play. An Ouchtown orange player. So this statue is somewhat coming back to bite them. This is somewhat coming back to bite them because that means that the boss and team and friends and company cannot actually get in. But boss is going to do boss things. And he's going to spit the hot fire. And he's dropping it on there. So it eliminates the Stairmaster, which took an enormous amount of damage from the jar. Plus, we have the buff damage going down onto the Spider and the Paschetti, who are not exactly going to push a lot of heart damage. To replace the Gesundheit, we see a Microscopic. Alright, that's fine. But the fire damage here will definitely soften these up. And in the meantime, we see a bunch, well, not a bunch of stuff, but some stuff go down here. At this point, our orange player is absolutely in control. I mean, we're looking at, what, 3 phobies against this, plus remaining keys. They basically, as the blue player, have to dive. I think they were just too aggressive. Like, this play up top, the boss was online. I think you had to go after the boss at some point, namely much sooner. But the boss, even dying here, put in such an enormous amount of work that it didn't matter. See the clear out of the Jin Sting, and we see the clear out of the blue player's heart. Get a little W action there. That's a dangerous Clinico. It's true. It's true. This is pretty cool. It definitely showcased boss. We got two into. How often do you see Clinico get two activations? If you activate Clinico on boss twice, you better win the game. And AmazinJ definitely took it down. So GG. Thank you for submitting this one. And if you want to get your own games reviewed, then hop on over to the Randoms Thoughts Discord. You can check it out either in the video description or ! Discord on the live stream. RT Chomp GG over on Twitch. Got to throw that out there. And as usual, likes and subscribes help on the YouTube channel, and comments, of course. Get a little shameless plug in there. But that was a pretty cool game. I mean, boss is pretty cool. Joker loses again. We live in a society. That Scritch boss combo was cool. It is pretty cool. So I have Scritch, but honestly, I don't think I really have anything to set it up with. You know, it's okay. I Scritch my jar and then blow something up. I guess we could Scritch Erratic. We could Scritch Flesh Crawler. That would be pretty cool. Scritching Hevo would be pretty cool. But it feels like boss is just way better. I guess Scritching Hevo is similar. Scritching Hevo is similar. But it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. Alright, chat. Let's jump into another game. Scritch a cowbell. You're all about cowbell tonight, player. All about cowbell tonight. That'll do some work. I mean, I promise you someone has done that and won a game. I promise you that's happened. There's no way with this many people playing Phobies that has not happened. And then even beyond that, there's absolutely been other one-drops that get buffed with a Scritch and then they just go in. Or Gonzo Bonzo or something like that. And they just go ham. Scritch a Brony, that might lead to some sads. That might lead to some sads. If it happened, it's good. I agree. Exactly. It's one of two scenarios. Either you win the game because you scritched that cowbell, or you're just dead and you're doing it for the lulz. There's really no other reason, right? Like, how often is it just going to be, yeah, I'm just going to push 600 damage on this thing and pass turn? Like, OP, please nerf. Exactly. Exactly. So this is going to be interesting. We've had a lot of fun talking about high-level games, but this goes for a lot of games. Watching beginner games or just, you know, lower-ranked games in general can be very entertaining. So let's see what actually goes down here on Crypto. So our hero here is in the blue trunks, starting on the left-hand side. It's Koyre. I hope I'm saying their name right. I could be saying it wrong. And the bad guy over here in the orange trunk, starting on the right side. So we start with a cat opener. A cat into bank opener. So this is interesting. This is actually kind of interesting. I'm curious what is being banked for at 5. Now, at this level, one of two things are going to happen. And maybe this happens at all levels. When I say levels, we're talking like different ranks and stuff. Either the orange player sees this and goes, well, that's weird, and just keeps going on because, like, they don't know enough to be worried. Remember, we're talking about a stress level 3 player. Or they're trying to think ahead and go, oh my god, what are they doing? And they're, like, crapping out. Alright, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have a good night. I don't know which is going through Orange player's head right now, but we'll have to see. They managed to decide to just follow this up with simply their own cat, and they banked to 6. Now, our blue player gets the jar online, which is a core component of this particular map. Jar on a stim is really good. Now, how big is their jar? This is a level 3 jar, 445 health, versus a level 2 murder wing that's going to do 463. So it will still one-shot it, 463 to 445. But they've elected to meatball the cat. Okay, well, that's a thing you can do. Now, admittedly, this cat and murder wing could just move in, so reclaiming this middle spot isn't terrible. But we're going to see the reverse, or the revenge kill on the orange player's cat. Naturally, we don't have follow-up to take the center point, so we're still looking at 5 keys to 6 keys as part of the bank, and now we finally get a Gravedigger, this time out of orange player, in order to pop this bottom obstacle. Now, that's something that typically happens on this map a lot. I've talked before about how I like sending Gravedigger out and aggressively placing blocks, but one of the other common plays is to break these side ones. Usually, I see them getting broken on the side that your healing spa is on. It gives you a little bit more room to maneuver. But I can understand here, it gives you a longer run here in order to try and address the center point, or a straighter run. Does that really matter? I don't know. I'd have to actually think about it, and we're not thinking right now. We're just talking. So here's mistake numero uno. I'm pretty sure Meatball's online. Meatball's online, so this is a dead jar. But we do see the matching Gravedigger to be the foil to our orange player's one. Now let's see if orange player recognizes the Murder Wing play or not. Because if they go in with Murder Wing, it is likely to die. Now they elect not to. Is that because this would have done 6, 7 and change? Yeah, they would have traded Murder Wing for Jar, and it's possible that they chose consciously that is not worth it. Did they? I'm not sure. Now, in this case, this is kind of interesting because this Gravedigger is now positioned, although not prepared, in order to block this spot. That prevents the line of sight as well as capping the point, so unless our orange player supplements with their 8 keys that they banked, it's possible this Gravedigger locks off this spot. But it's got several turns before the cooldown goes off. I highly doubt that. The sheep follow-up, everybody out there by now has to know how little I like sheep. Here, I'm not sure it really does a whole lot. This feels like a preemptive sheep. But our blue player still has 4 keys available, and they're going to have to find a way to deal with an alligator. Alligator at this level is kind of a terror, because you just don't have a lot of damage, as well as a lot of people don't have a lot of experience. But our blue player is playing it pretty passively. This could lead to some problems here. This is likely a dead... No, this might not be a dead Gravedigger. Because even if this moves up, I'd have to actually count this, and I'm not going to. We're going to find out momentarily. But moving up the alligator and then moving up the Murder Wing may not be enough to spell this Gravedigger's demise. We see a little dancing Contortio action. So this is weird. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for the alligator anyway, but we see the foil alligator here. Now this is really interesting. We see a bold play with the Gravedigger breaking this block in order to get double hits on the alligator. That did not seem worth it. Ugh. So this could be a mistake. How are the alligator levels? This is a level 3 alligator versus a level 2 alligator. So our blue player's alligator's slightly better. Now, if this might be bait, because if the orange player advances into the spot between the alligator and the Murder Wing, it is in range of Jar. Now, keep in mind, if they dive, the Murder Wing can snipe the Jar. This probably gets the Murder Wing. Or I would go for the Murder Wing, personally. I mean, this could move up and hit the Murder Wing. This hits it once. This and Jar, as in Contortio and Jar, probably kill this. And then our blue player's left with alligator, sheep, 3 keys, and a dream. I'm guessing it does not go that way, but we're going to find out. So Gravedigger does move up. Contortio presumably finishes off the Murder Wing. Fair. Actually, they wouldn't have been able to get both because they would not have been able to put the Gravedigger... Basically, the Murder Wing had to be where the Gravedigger is in order to snipe the Jar. But they could have gotten the Gravedigger here, the blue Gravedigger. That was a really strange push from our orange player. But again, not trying to beat these players up. I think it's just the learning process of, oh, well, I could have done this or that. But I think you could have gotten a much bigger Phobie advantage as the orange player off of that turn. Now, we get the repositioning here and then a follow-up stabby, which is interesting. But our orange player still has 7 remaining keys. Oh, no. How mad is orange player right now? Look at that health bar. They are super salty right now. Super salty right now. And we see the fetch follow-up. I don't mind fetch, but fetch to stand right next to the sheep gives me a big question mark. Now, we do get a pretty cool sheep connection here. Landing it on the alligator is okay. The problem here is that the alligator can just back off to the healing spa. But it is a significant chunk of damage, and we do see the follow-up. It's kind of funny with the, I guess, the soul leaving from the jar. We do see the follow-up Gravedigger to take down the jar. Now we have Stabby in position. We have a mostly unassailable jar. This alligator's not long for the world, but we are able to put a bunch of pressure on orange player at this stage. Get a quick takedown there. This Murder Wing will go down. I think this trade is fine if... I don't know, like, hold on. I gotta walk this back. Why did they not just put the alligator here? Did they have to hit this? So they boop this. They hit this twice. I think the better option would have been to hit the Gravedigger twice, walk the gator back, hit it. Instead, we see a dead fetch who did mostly nothing. I mean, it killed the gator. But now we get the... This was a good play by our blue player here, taking control of the opposing stim, so that you can just push a ton of damage on this gator. And just like that, like, our orange player is in deep doo-doo. I mean, they're not coming back from this position. So if we had to go back and look at it, sheep should have went on the undeads. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we identified a number of plays over the course of this game that were errors. Our blue player here was under a lot of pressure, down to 2,800 health on this map. Obviously, this is coming down to remaining phobies. It has nothing to do with panic points at this stage. Like, the game is over. But there were a number of turns where the blue player was exposed, and the orange player did not capitalize on it. So similar to our earlier discussions tonight in different contexts, games are won, like, did you, when you go back and assess your games, did you win the game? Or did your opponent lose the game? It ultimately has the same result, but this is a little weird, but sure, it doesn't actually matter. I was gonna, like, they probably could have just killed this thing. Yeah, they could have just hit it twice and then moved Stabby up, but whatever. Doesn't matter. I think orange player just made a bunch of mistakes. I think there were multiple times where orange player had the opportunity to take down a lot of different phobies at various points, or pressure at different points, and didn't capitalize on those chances. Now, like we were talking about, stress level 10 versus stress level 3, this is not... These players have clearly not played a ton of games. So it's absolutely cool. Thank you for submitting this game. If you have other beginner games, or anybody out there has beginner games they want to submit, by all means, I'd be more than happy to take a look at them. I think our blue player, the biggest sin that they committed was just the mispositioning and allowing the potential for those plays to happen. Now, they didn't, So it may be easy to look at it, and I'm not saying this is what's going through their head, but I have this when I look at games, everybody does, where it's, well, I won, so I must have done things right. Right? That's not necessarily the case. In this particular scenario, there were a number of things where our orange player didn't capitalize on it, and I would have liked to have seen our blue player either play more defensively or more aggressively, depending on the scenarios. Like, that jar should not have lived that long. Definitely shouldn't have been there by the end of the game. There were a number of turns where the aggressive push to the top could have resulted in disaster, but ultimately it worked out. So this was, like I said, this is a cool game, and if you have beginner games that you want to get looked at, then check out the Discord in the video description, or ! Discord on the live stream over on Twitch, RTChompGG. But again, thank you for submitting the game. Might not play another game, probably not tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow and play more games. I'm probably going to be closing up shop after this one for the evening. But we'll be playing more games. I want to do more games, like actually playing more games, but it's just close enough to the end of the stream, and since the queues were taking a long time, I'm going to probably do the pattern going forward where I'll play like 2 games, then do a game review, play 2 games, then do a game review, see how that feels. If it ends up, you know, if we don't get in enough games, then I'll just play more games instead. But alright, so we're jumping into another viewer-submitted game. We are here on Rent Past Due, the map that I always refer to as Raining Worms, because you'll see worms rain down periodically. Our hero here in the blue trunks is Cypress, opening with Murderwing and Cat, which is pretty standard. Our bad guy orange player here is opening up with Murderwing Cassowary, also I think fairly standard. So you get the cap of the points here. We're going to see the early aggressive cap from Cypress, which is fair. And then the one down here with Cat. Now we see the follow-up Gravedigger, which is actually pretty interesting. I'm also very curious why the hell this just happened. Like, why do you hate this obstacle? What is it about this obstacle that pissed you off, Gravedigger? Because I don't really get it. Honestly, like, I legitimately don't understand why this obstacle got removed. So I think this isn't, yeah, this is a space that you can occupy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4. 1, 2, 3. Like, I don't, why did this one break? It does literally not, okay, so you do this, Forgo? Why? I'm not saying it's wrong. I honestly want to know, like, what is the advantage of breaking this obstacle? Because it doesn't open a quicker path to this panic point or the center panic point. Like, why do this? I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'm missing something, but... So, Gravedigger comes out and punches this. One move to get mid faster, but you can just come down this way and get the same path, can't you? Like, where the Gravedigger is? It's satisfying. I mean, that's the best reason to do anything, right? Because I wanted to, god damn it. That's why. I like Snowball here. You can immediately just take the mid-panic. But, well, yes. Who doesn't love Snowball on every map, though? I mean, let's be real. We see basically the standard movement here. You know, like the standard positioning. Stabby's a little abnormal. The Cottontail follow-up here I can respect. Cassowary in the center, that's fine. Being in the position where it was either going to go north, but obviously it's threatened by the Murderwing, so it's going to cap here. The problem is, I think this Cassowary dies. And you're going to trade out, like, the Cat for it, which seems fine. Now, we do get the aggressive Murderwing move into the bottom left, makes sense. Clearly, the Cottontail was positioned in order to take the top, so now we have a substantial orange panic point lead, but not for long. Now, I was incorrect because I thought it was our other player's turn, the Hevo already in position. Clearly, the Cassowary is not going to die, since it's, you know, nowhere near anything. I'm not really sold on that meatball there. I can kind of respect it, simply because, you know, you're going to wait for the meatball to get charged back up. And it puts this in range where you can just pop it next turn. Like, the Cottontail has to leave now. Because otherwise, the Murderwing will kill it and then go stand on it. Now, the problem is, I think that... Well, they're not going to do it. Never mind. I was going to say that our orange player could move Stabby up hit for 420, and then leap with the cassowary and trade the cassowary for the murder wing. I think that's a feasible trade. You're not going to really go after the stabby. You wouldn't be able to. And I think that's worth it. Instead, the Cottontail backs off. You know, the Murder Wing's not going to be able to do much of anything. Hevo supplements, and also Erratic, which is interesting. Now, from our blue player, we see a Sparky, and also more Obstacle Destruction. Now, this one I can kind of get behind, because it opens up more movement around this top side of the map, as compared to down here. Like, this is the obstacle. It's a little weird to dance around this. Sometimes you want the LOS block, but not always. But I'm on record as not really liking Sparky. This is a level 8 Sparky, though, which is pretty sizable. We don't really have a great answer from our blue player to the Erratic. I mean, you could argue that the Sheep is, but I am of the opinion that Sheep is not a great answer. We'll see. So we do a little Sheep dance. So we now see the aggressive stabby play. Mostly just for a little poke. Mostly just for a little poke. The Erratic gets into position. We're getting into the great standoff here. Our orange player has the panic point advantage, so the onus is on our blue player in order to try and do something about this. But we get a 1 key here to try and start recapping some points. And, of course, the aggressive Murder Wing play up in the north. We are mirroring each other for the well, not really, but there's a... It felt like it was very close, but it's really not. It's really just Hevos are the same, and now Sheep. It felt like there was more than there actually was. But we see a Quagmire showing up, and the great standoff continues. Now it's on the orange player in order to make something happen. And they're going to have to sacrifice keys. Now, I'm a little surprised that they're inching the cassowary up here. Maybe they want the Cottontail. The Cottontail is likely to die, especially in the center. I don't know. It's going to die no matter where it is, so I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter, but like the cassowary would absolutely die up here. Now, there's a block with a statue from this gravedigger. It's an interesting move in order to cut off the stabby line of sight. But we're going to get a -1 for our orange player because obviously this dimensional phobia is going to die, but it's a 1 cost for a 2 cost. This is fine. Now the Quagmire's in position to get tagged by both the Sheep as well as the Erratic. And the Sheep is going to land on the blue Sheep. So that was not... Like, that's a positioning error here. Did this have to happen? This did not have to happen. This could have moved somewhere else. Now, what I expect is this is probably somewhat of a bait, because our blue player could then hypothetically just connect with this Erratic. But, as mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of Erratic as an anti... or Sheep as an anti-Erratic tool. I don't like Sheep as an anti-Erratic because generally Erratic can tank the Erratic or Sheep hits. Like, you're just going to tank through the poison. It makes it more challenging. Don't get me wrong. You'd rather connect with it and then take it, or be in the position to take it down than just not. But I'm not a huge fan of trying to set this up. Now, the Quagmire is going to pull back quite clearly. It needs to heal up. It is out of range of getting Meatball. Like, you could dive for it, but it's not going to kill it. So that's the good news. Now, this cassowary that I thought was going to die is instead invading, and we get some supplementary stabby pokes, which seems fine. We also get the elimination on this dimensional phobia, but it's not enough to actually get something on the point. Sheep goes down, and unfortunately, Ouchdown Population Blue player, because look at that splash. It lands on a mechanical phobia and then splashes on top of it. That absolutely hurts. Now, the Quagmire, it's going to take some time, and we don't know if Orange player is going to give them that time. But ultimately, I think this Erratic is now toast. Yep. The erratic could have hypothetically lived, but it was good enough. Connecting with the sheep a few turns ago really was just a function of pushing damage. The poison mattered. I guess yeah, because you likely wouldn't have killed it without the poison, because you end up doing like 1,000 damage to it, whereas you probably only do 500 otherwise, or something like that. Assuming it was something else. The Metabot follow-up is very interesting. We do get a big heal going down, so that's good. Fetch is definitely a threat on this map. You know I love my boops. And Rambolina boops are, you know, maybe a little better. Maybe a little better than Fetch boops, but Fetch is still pretty strong. So Quagmire's still doing Quagmire things. We see the Stairmaster come down to eliminate the threat here of... Well, Stairmaster and Gravedigger eliminate the threat of the Murder Wing. I'm not really sure why that was there. Unless our orange player felt that they couldn't get it out, or they just missed it. I'm not sure. But our blue team here, I'm trying to get the health to pull up. There we go. The Hevo's going to die, because Stabby alone will get it. But this is going to be a Hevo set of trades, which is fine. Now, all of a sudden, our blue player is in a very strong position. There are 5 keys left for our orange player, but this cage here is not all that valuable any longer. I imagine this showed up simply because it's one of their better phobies, but like the electrical damage doesn't matter that much. Maybe the reflection damage is what they're thinking. But we see a reposition here of our Murder Wing, presumably to threaten this top point. But there's still a lot of time as far as panic points go, assuming this sort of position. Only 225 damage a turn. Is it even 225? It's 225. You got 5,500 health. You have an eternity to make stuff happen. This is really going to come down to elimination of phobies. So we see the repositioning and the grouping of our orange players' phobies. But that means that now the top is exposed for this Murder Wing. Could they have done something differently? Not really, because the Stabby ain't getting there. The cage isn't getting there. We also see, or rather, the top is already blue, but it can't threaten taking it because the Murder Wing could have gone in. I said that wrong, but I'm getting tired. Give me a break. We're at the end of the stream. The Metabot does claim the bottom one, though. The Metabot does claim the bottom, so... This is a really awkward position for our orange player to be in, because they need to recap a point and maintain it, but they don't really have the mobility in order to do that. Again, a problem with the particular phobie set that they've chosen. Now, we do get the reflect damage here, but a hit with Sparky onto an electrical feels good. The combination of these 3 phobies ends up taking it down. At this point in time, the poison's gone from this thing, and it healed back up to a sizable life total. This is pretty good. Sparky got huge value there. Absolutely. That was a huge hit. And now, like, the game was over before. I think the writing was on the wall, barring a mispositioning from our blue player. But at this stage, it's absolutely over, right? Like, there's just too many phobies to kill. And too many strong as well as healthy phobies. They're healthy and a regenerating phobie. It's possible maybe, you get a boop. But, like, this was a cool block down here. This block up here to block that Stabby was actually pretty useful. Set up this other choke point. But honestly, this was pretty well played by Cypress here. I think this is another matter of, similar to the other games we reviewed and some of the ones I played earlier tonight, where I think ultimately just more mistakes were made on one player's side than the other, and they were capitalized on. There were, like, the Murder Wing I don't think had to die a few turns ago. There might have been a couple turns where positioning might have allowed a better play for our orange player. But at this point, it's all she wrote. Which one is Zappy? Yeah, Zappy just didn't seem to do it on this map. It's a big map. It's hard to justify some of those phobies. I'm guessing, like I said, that the Zappy showed up simply because that was the best X key phobia. I think it's 6. We'll say it's 6 for the sake of argument. The best 6-key Phobie available to our orange player. Was that actually the case? Can't see their collection, so we don't know. But it's probably one of those go-to things. But definitely, thank you, Cypress, for submitting this. Shout out to Cypress for doing so. And if you want to get your own games reviewed, you probably heard this spiel already. But head on over to the Random Thoughts Discord. There are instructions there. You'll figure it out. I'm confident everybody out there is smart enough to figure this out. Yeah, Stabby's a mech. We can talk about Stabby a little bit. Or not Stabby. Zappy. It's a 6 cost? Here it is. So it has the same counter as, or similar counter. Actually, is it more than Stabby? It's 35% versus... It actually has a higher reflect than Stabby. And the damage output isn't bad. For a 6 cost, I don't know that 500 is really what you want. You might need more damage output. But in that particular scenario, it doesn't... That's why I was thinking it had to be that this was just the best Phobie they had available. Which, arguably, it seems challenging for that to be the case. Because it's a big map, it's only a 1-move Phobie, it's not getting any advantage out of its electrical damage, but, you know, it's not bad. But yeah, I don't think Zappy's bad. It's level 1, though, at base level 500 is pretty solid. That could be true, Alpaca. It's hard to... Like, I have to look at the spreadsheet. I have to have the numbers in front of me, because it's hard to tell exactly where this is going to be. You know, like... Especially since the only... It's not that it only matters at level 1 and level 20, minimum level and max level, but those are the only ones that you can really speak with certainty about whether this Phobie beats that Phobie. Because otherwise, everything is all over the place, and your opponent's collection may be way better, way worse, or even with yours, and therefore, one or the other could be overpowering just by virtue of numbers. So it's tough to say, you know, is the 500 damage good? It's probably pretty good. Will it matter? I don't know, it's going to depend. That's the problem. It's erratic without the AoE, but it can't be hit by mechanical, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the counterattack is interesting because no matter what, it complicates your opponent's math. So you have to consider that its damage output is considerably higher than you might think. Is that better than erratic? I think I'd almost always rather have erratic. I'm struggling to think of scenarios where I'd rather have erratic. Or rather not have erratic. Rather have Zappy over erratic. But for the most part, yeah, I think I'd rather have erratic. I think Zappy's fine, though. It's just in a rough niche because it's the same cost as... I mean, it's one of my favorite Phobies, but I think erratic is also very, very strong. The chain on it is just can't be understated. Now, admittedly... I mean, even at these levels, it's 500, 300. Let's ignore the counter for a second. That's a level 1 Zappy versus a level 8. It's beating... Or wait, it was 300 for the electric? 300 for the electric. So it's beating the base damage and only 60 damage behind on something that's 7 levels higher. And it's only, a few hundred health lower. Like, statistically, it's probably going to crush erratic when it's on par. Again, I'd have to look at the numbers, but I'd expect it to. Can't be hit by jar, kinda. Yeah, it is pretty dangerous to hit it with jar. Especially if, like, your jar is on a stim and then the reflect damage is going to grow. I don't think they're comparable, really. I think they are. They're both ranged, 6-cost, anti-electric Phobies. There are nuances to each of them, but I think they're about as close as you can get to compare two things. But he's a mech, so erratic deals extra damage to him. Yes, but the head-to-head matchup isn't usually what you're concerned with. Plus, the reflect damage can make things weird for the erratic. You know, that is a concern. I don't actually know how the order of operations goes with the life leech versus the damage. So, like, let's say you have a really low health erratic. You hit the Zappy. Will it die before the life leech comes in, or will it always live? I don't know how that works. You know who else can leech? Sucky. It's true. It's true. To me, erratic is undead with AoE. Zappy is mech with reflect. I mean, yes, that is accurate. Electric is secondary in both cases. Yeah, I mean, I play erratic into non-mechanical oppositions because erratic is just that good. Like, I think erratic is a better phobie. I don't like the reflect is relevant. Yes. I don't think it's as relevant as the chain lightning on erratic. I think it's just way more important. Erratic and the undead portion of it, I think, make it better. I think there are just too many important factors. There are scenarios, obviously, into a mechanical team or into a poison-based team, notably. So I saw somebody earlier in chat talking about Russell, but this is mechanical, so that goes with it all of the advantage of being mechanical. The extra stats, but notably, you know, it can't be poisoned or diseased, whereas erratic can. So there are scenarios where Zappy is going to be better. And it's not necessarily just, oh, they have a mechanical team, so I want the higher damage output, which isn't necessarily even going to be the case. I mean, they're going to have to hit Zappy eventually to win, or run away from it, I guess. But point is that there are other scenarios where there will be value to be gained by playing Zappy. Well, like I said, that's going to do it for tonight, chat. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Black Lives Matter.